That looks like so many fucking buttons. Oh my god.
It's nothing. All right. We're live. First podcast, number 1, Base Basement. We have Mitchell Lee, D, and T, Nordval, myself. Welcome, gentlemen. We're gonna have a good night.
We're here in Duluth. It's fucking frigid, as you can guess.
And snowing.
Not a lot of good going on outside.
Yep, snow came in. Mitch made the haul up 35 all the way up here.
It was clear.
Beat the snow.
Didn't hit any fucking deer.
That's
gentlemen. That's
until
the
you got to our front road, and then you're just like, oh,
yeah,
there's the deer.
Yeah, we saw deer, but we didn't smoke them tonight.
No.
Kind of pissed off we didn't go after him. We were like 15 feet away from him, and
yeah,
you could hit him, but you would have hit him with Brandon's car.
Yeah,
his new used vehicle that only has like 33,000 miles on it.
Yeah, well, he's racked it up to 7 already in just a couple months on a lease. He's blown through his 12,000 miles a year in like 3 months, 4 months.
God damn it!
Not even half a year, and he's a year in miles wise. But it's already damaged. I mean, we had a tree limb fall on it.
He showed me
did you see that?
Yeah. Before he came in,
the hood got dented in the front left light. He was knocked out.
He was almost bragging about it. He's like, "Dude, you gotta come see this. You gotta come see this." It's got like a dent, a crevice on like just above the left headlight.
You gotta see this damage on my vehicle.
I'm like, Brandon, what do you want me to say? Like, cool.
Strip shattered.
Yeah, that's awesome. How much did that cost?
But I mean, it would have been more badass if it was, fucking totaled. But totaled by a tree, though.
Yeah.
I was like, was it the wind or whatever? He's like, yeah, it was the wind.
Yeah. We get some
pretty big gusts.
We can get some high winds. Oh, yeah. That can definitely happen.
Yeah, high winds up there tonight, anyway.
Yeah. So, one subject we absolutely have to bring up here. Student loans. It's got to happen. I have to go on about it, and we might as well just get that out there. Okay, why when I sign a document? So I remember sitting down when I was going to school at IPR, the Institute of Production and Recording, sitting down in their financial office, going over all my options. I could get a loan from these people, through these people, whatever. I get a loan from the Bank of North Dakota. So I'm essentially getting a loan from North Dakota, is my understanding of it. And I could choose a fixed interest rate, variable interest rate, and I went with the variable interest rate because it ended up being lower than the fixed. And over time, it never really went up. It had the option to go up higher than what my fixed one would have ended up being, because it was a variable between like 2 and 4%, where you could get fixed at 3%. And it started out at like 2%, and it stayed there for a lot of the time. I'm still paying that one off, but it's still fairly low. It's not that high.
It's never gone up or fluctuated.
It's fluctuated, but it's higher now. But most of it I paid off while it was a lower rate.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm just saying, I went over all of my options and I signed the fucking documents. Why now can I say I don't want to pay for this? You paid all of the staff. Everything was taken care of. Like, all these people ended up getting the money distributed because of what I signed on for. Like, they're not going to just hire the staff and do all of this stuff because for whatever reason. They measure it based on how many students do I have signing up, how much money is coming in. So then I need to hire X amount of teachers. So when we pay all these teachers, so the school gets as big as it gets because people sign on for it, and then we're not going to pay for it. Where's the money going to come from? We already paid these people. Like, why is it all of a sudden we just forget about it? Like, it's just, how does that happen? Oh, the government just takes care of me? Like, are we just children? Mommy and daddy, please help me. I made a mistake. Like,
yeah.
Is that where we're at?
I just feel like people think like you can just wave a magic wand and like things are just all of a sudden FREE. Like, that word just doesn't mean shit.
Precisely. I mean,
it's gotta come from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And they really preface it by saying, student loan debt, or going to college or attending university, it's important, and it should be, any debt associated with attending college or university should be forgiven. Well, it's like, well, why shouldn't that be applied to home loans or like auto loans? What I mean?
Where do you draw the line with something like that?
That seems very arbitrary to me.
No. So does every sort of thing that involves existing, like, it just becomes free? Like, who's providing it?
Where does the free come from?
Who does that?
Yeah.
Do you just get to sit back and sing Kumbaya and then all of a sudden everything happens around you? Is that how the world fucking works?
Yeah. Exactly. And, down the road, when you kick the can down the road, because like you talked about, how university and administrative, officials need to get paid at universities and whatnot, how it's already paid for because, like you said, people keep taking out these loans. Like, where does it stop? And how would you, I guess, I'm gonna too many drinks. It's just like it's like a giant house of cards, and if you all of a sudden paid off all tuition through taxpayers now, where it's at, which is like 1.4 trillion dollars collective student loan debt,
right?
Then that would be just the largest
between federal and private.
Absolutely,
yeah.
It would be the largest wealth transfer in the history of mankind. And it's like, just because it's there are these government-backed loans and whatnot and state-backed loans, people wouldn't necessarily feel it, and there would be unintended consequences. Certainly, it would be bad, but the universities and colleges are just the ones getting bailed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, these people that are ultimately I feel like we're against the rich, greedy people in the world, right? But then, who are those people? They're typically the banks.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then we're just going to bail out the banks again in a different way, but we're just getting some sort of benefit ourselves out of it. But they're ultimately the winners in the long run, and they just got
they do it.
More. Well, yeah, I mean, it just seems like a game to me, and people are playing along with it. That's why when anybody's in strong support of it, I'm like, you realize you're kind of against something that you ultimately believe in, right? Like, you believe in taking down this sort of corruption within government, but then you're voting it along every step of the way. It's like they just can easily manipulate you because they sucked you into their game. And I really liked what Feldman brought up in that chat about, his crazy conspiracy theory. I don't think that's far off.
You bet.
About just how the system's set up, and they kind of indoctrinate you from high school to think that college is the only option, and then that sucks you into that sort of world. And then that's when Sam's going on about society makes me this way, or society tells me to do that, I'm like, what the fuck is this society that's controlling you? Is it the strings attached to you that's making you do something and making you behave a certain way? I don't understand that. And I've never felt this society that's pressuring me to be this certain type of person. I can see what he's talking about. You want to be popular, you do the certain things to try to fit in with people, but so you gotta adhere to these social norms, but I wouldn't say that society is just making me be something that I don't want to be.
You can't be too outlandish, because then nobody understands you. So
that's true. That's too generalized. But I think he was on something. When he's talking about how when he says society, maybe he could specify saying the public educational system, because in the public educational system we're not taught about contract law or what it means when you sign the dotted line. Although when you are 18 years of age, you sign that dotted line to say, I get 4 to 6 or possibly even 8 years of schooling for a certain amount of money that I have to pay, but I'm not necessarily going to feel it. And nobody really teaches you this is how it's going to be in the long term. This is what interest means. This is what it means when you actually sign the dotted line.
It drives me crazy that we don't have information from a young age, kind of hey, by the way, let's teach you about this now, the importance of it, how it's gonna play out. It's like trying to jump into a friggin' video game. You have no idea how to play the thing, and you're just kind of mashing buttons. Okay,
you just get tossed to the wolves right away. And I think a lot of people are feeling it right now, because I know a lot of people who have deep 5 or 6 figures of student loan debt, and they're saying this. They're echoing the same things that we're voicing right now, which is, why didn't we learn about debt, money, finance, law, taxes in high school? These are the most important things.
Brush on it.
And
it's just a brush.
Maybe that's where part of this whole thing comes in, is you never teach anybody that. They have no understanding of money, so then you can get them right away once they're considered adults to sign away their future, because they don't understand what $100,000 is and what it takes to earn that and to be able to spare that on top of all of your living expenses. That's years, and when you say, I'll pay that back in 10 years, it's good fucking luck. There's no way you'll do that.
Exactly. I mean, you hear these horror stories about people paying student loans decades from when they were conceived, and it's like, holy fuck.
My mom finally got her loans paid off at age 48, and she was like,
yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be done by 30. That's been my goal, and I'm gonna fucking hit it. I know. I hear about people and they're 45 plus. They're still paying for their student loans.
18 more years of paying for fucking student loans, dude.
And that assumes that it's going to be worth it once, of course, you get the degree, which in whatever field you did.
You're better off. Yeah. When he says, "Oh, don't work in these jobs, like nobody wants to do these things," and like we're like, why not? Like, what is wrong with working just your average day-to-day job? Like, you can't get any sort of satisfaction in it. Like, especially in food service, you're feeding people. Why can't you look at it that way? People aren't going hungry because you did something about it.
Exactly. And well, I think the stereotypical situation where you like shit on somebody who like didn't go to college is like when it comes to janitorial services. Like somebody, like what are you gonna do? Just be a janitor, like a middle school or a high school the rest of your life? And it's like, well, they don't do too bad. Like public sector or private sector, doesn't matter like really where it's funded, they do pretty good with benefits and pay and everything. And if you're frugal enough and you don't piss away your money, you can make that go a long way without a 4-year degree and putting yourself in debt dozens of thousands of dollars.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of options. It's not like you have to go down one road anyway. I mean, everywhere is hiring, so what kind of job do you want?
Exactly.
It's so varied right now. Like, you pretty much like have a buffet set up before you where you're just like, ooh, this looks good, this looks good. A recent study, like, looking into it showed just turnover rates are insane. If you're hiring for 30 positions, you're going to go through at least 45 people before you're going to fill them. You get ghosted by how many people that are just going to be like,
Well, if you fucking hire Mitch, all of a sudden Mitch, you're like, I'll be there fucking Friday. I'll be there for the rush. Don't worry about it. And just you're calling him, he just doesn't answer.
Yeah, it's like it is fucking crazy that like managers and supervisors, they'll be like so enthusiastic, and then they'll go through a few months where they think they're going to get like,
because I'm sure you're a good
interviewers and good interviewers, but then they don't even show up, and then after a few months they're like, yep, got an interview, and they're not even excited about it because nobody even shows up. Even
that was me.
Regardless of the higher pay for certain jobs, like I think it's a generational thing too, is that younger people don't have that work ethic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
It's fucking
they don't. Work ethic and everything's like just kind of handed to you, like like so much nowadays. It's just I think that's definitely influencing our mentality. You seriously, there's like, oh, a job's just gonna show up in my lap, and when I don't have to show up for the interview, like if I really want it, you know what, I'll know it, and I'll go get that job. But until then, I'm just gonna kind of.
And that speaks to why all of these things are so popular. Why I want free this, free that, pay for this. I want the government to take care of that because I don't know what it means to work hard for something. If I want to see something happen in my own life, I can't make it happen myself. I have to vote for somebody to make it happen for me. Like, it's just ridiculous to me.
And what it is they don't think about the corner that they put themselves into, and then
absolutely.
And then at that point they look past the surface of everything and they say, oh shit, what the fuck did I just do? You know what I mean? Like, I'm 22, I'm 23, I have anywhere from $50,000 to maybe $90,000 worth of debt, which is like half of a decent condo or a house maybe.
Yep.
And it's like, well, what can I do that would be at the expense of everybody else but would benefit me the most? And it's like $15 minimum wage, erase all the college debt I have, when in reality I should have been smart enough not to sign that fucking dotted line. And we're all guilty of that in some degree.
Oh yeah. I mean, and at some point you got to realize what it's doing, because you're not making your life any easier in the long run, because everything's going to have to change as far as the way the world functions today. Because I think today you can get a lot of just small localized things that can afford to give you something that's, maybe a decent price, and it's going to be decent quality. Quality and price may be a little bit better.
Save money, live better.
But then you can get these big chains that can come in and they can just mass produce and put all of these smaller chains under. And then the biggest thing then becomes labor, is what you can compete on. And if you have, just a local shop and they have to pay $15 an hour, they're not going to be able to sustain that. I mean, whenever somebody says we need to have $15 an hour, I just say, look at Jeff Bezos. Why are you two saying the same thing? The richest guy in the U.S. also wants a $15 minimum wage. Why is that?
Take out his competition.
He wants no competition. He gains a larger share of a market because he's in every market imaginable. Mm-hmm. Like when I saw like they do clothes, like they have their whole wardrobe thing. You can try stuff out, send it back. Like,
and one good tip off for that is like when you can really tell his intentions when he says everybody in Amazon is going to get. Every Amazon employee is going to get a $15, an hour minimum wage. But here's the thing: I want it federally mandated that every other company has to pay $15 an hour to their employees. Now, it's one thing if he says, "Hey, we want to pay our workers more."
Want to do it. Yeah,
we want to be competitive, but we still want to pay our workers more. But we're not going to federally mandate it, and we're not going to lobby lawmakers and other companies to be forced to pay their workers $15 an hour. Mm-hmm. And that's where he definitely wants to push out his competition to these politicians.
It's like, what if him and Bernie are like best fucking friends?
They probably are.
And they could be, because why wouldn't that make perfect sense? They just seem like they're total opposite. Oh, I'm against Wall Street and the rich, powerful billionaires. It's not millionaires anymore. Those greedy billionaires. Because once you're a millionaire, you don't want to, all of a sudden make legislation that impacts yourself. Exactly. Let's focus on the top 1% of 1%, right?
Yeah.
And it's just bullshit. And then you're pushing legislation that's ultimately going to help them. And people can tell you that. And like you say, like, who would win? An economics book or fucking Bernie Sanders?
Who would win in the fight? An econ book or fucking Sanders, yeah. Well, I have a feeling it wouldn't be Bernie. Yeah. And it's always, like, paradoxical, too. Like, when he says, we want to get money out of, like the government, like the university school system, and transportation and housing. And at the same time, he's advocating for subsidizing all of those things.
Yeah.
It's completely like just paradoxical and like whatever, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like it. The thing that pisses me off more than Bernie is Bernie supporters, because it's it's just like what we're talking about. The people that want everything for free, so they listen to somebody saying what you're saying. They're like, yes, this is the future. Why can't you vote for the future and this and that and progressive?
Yeah. And, well, wait, whose future? The future that you're in. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. And the thing is, too, I don't even blame Bernie to a great extent, because he's just the leader of the sheep. Like, he'll say something, like, economically illiterate, like, completely wrong, fucking stupid, downright idiotic. And that's not what bothers me. What bothers me is that if he were the Democratic nominee, like, half the fucking country would support him and be like, wow, that's a really good idea. Like, we should have a $25 an hour minimum wage. Like, everything will be free.
Yeah.
It's like
we could afford everything then, because that's the problem.
Yeah. So if it's one madman just spewing bullshit, it's like, I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. Go ahead and have your own fucking opinions. It's when everybody fucking follows him blindly and doesn't even think, and doesn't take an economics class or anything, or even look into the fact that there are consequences if a $15 an hour minimum wage is implemented, or if, like, quote, college tuition is just wiped out collectively. The fact that his supporters don't even think that there are any detriment to that or, negative consequences is just, it hurts. Like, it's fucking hilarious, obviously. Like, us watching them, But it's sad. It's like...
Well, it's sad when they cast their votes and they all fucking win. Like, you realize there's so many of them.
Oh, God.
They've overpowered us. Because, like, it's not even like it's that hard. Like... People just think, if there's more money, it just means more money into people's pockets. They're going to spend it, makes a stronger economy. It's like, no, not really, because you end up changing everything when you change the value of the dollar. It changes the way everything functions, and you end up getting this sliding scale of what they want to have, increased wages. Like, that's ultimately what you'd want to have. Once you hit 15, you're going to have to go further. Yeah. Because there's a finite supply that everything operates off of. I mean, Economics 101 here, we'll give you a quick lesson. There's only so much money that we can operate off of. Like, if we just make the supply greater, that just devalues everything that's out there. That's why savings became just obsolete. Everybody had money saved up in, say, 2008 when all that shit went down. They pumped more money into the system, trillions of dollars, and then what's the dollar worth? Less than it was before. Mm-hmm. And you can see that ever since the Federal Reserve came to be. Yep. I mean, I think that becomes the issue right there. And how does Bernie not understand this? He wants to legislate money and change our lives, and he just doesn't understand there's a finite supply of anything. And Elizabeth Warren, let's do this. I want to pass that, this and that. Like, how are you going to fund that? She's like, what?
Yeah, pretty much. Fund it over the short term and the long term.
You have to fund it?
There's a distinct possibility that they know what they're talking about, but they're just gaslighting their audience. You know what I mean? Because when you think about it, like when you're an ideologue like Bernie Sanders and people just fucking clap like seals.
Yeah.
Like you can go around the country and it's going to be sold out. Like people of all ages are just going to be cheering you on. And you just got to say some bullshit like, yeah, we're going to get free this, free that.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody has.
And then he actually gets elected and then you're just like, oh,
exactly.
Shit, this guy's got no idea.
It's real.
And nobody has any.
Happened.
Nobody like on his side of the aisle or like his progressive base says like, wait a second, time out. Maybe this is like kind of a dumb idea on this policy and this policy. Yeah. Nobody says that. They all just fucking clap because
all on board.
They're in shitty
does not
positions.
Seem far fetched to me though. Like like that happening does not seem far fetched.
Oh, no, not at all.
Like he's just oh my gosh. Like that would be the most hilarious thing. Like we go from Trump, which is like a controversial presidency as it is, and like it's just a load of he said she said.
Yeah.
The whole time, the whole freaking presidency. Yeah. And then we're going to go from that to Bernie Sanders, who just doesn't have a clue. Oh my God, we would be the laughingstock of the entire world.
Oh,
like, it would just be...
Well, the rest of the world would be cheering too.
Oh, they would though.
Like, oh my goodness, they implemented a $30 minimum wage and they're taxing everything at 100%. Like, everything's going to be perfect. Like, it's going to be so amazing.
And this is another part of it is I think how much of this is outside influence of other countries because the best way to take down the U.S. is from the inside out. Yep. It seems to be we're becoming more divided. People recognize that. Well, why is that? How is that happening? Well, we say it's Russia. How are they doing that? Oh, because Trump. It's like, well, then that's where you're wrong. All of a sudden, is no, you don't know what they even did. Like, did they influence the election? Yes, but they were able to get riots in the streets from both sides. Exactly. They were able to organize protests on Facebook, this side and this side. Let's have it be at this time in this place, and then we'll have the rallies go down these streets, and then all of a sudden we have two people that are against each other. They see each other in public, and all of it was organized online.
Exactly. I mean,
nobody knows that though.
And one of the good things I think the Dems did was they uncovered. They said like, oh, there are these Russian troll farms that are like really trying to influence the election. It's like, yeah, but you forget to bring up they influenced both sides. Like, it came out that like the Russians helped out Bernie Sanders, Jill Stein, and people on the left, as well as people on the right, to like you were saying, turn us against one another, like collectively in these groups. And it's funny that they don't bring that aspect of it up. And I think it could be a bipartisan issue, like getting them out of the elections. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like absolutely. It's like they could see the control that Hollywood and the media had over the general population for years, and how it could, kind of sway
shift people to start thinking, and just it desensitizes you to certain ideas.
How many movies come out that end up being like real life all of a sudden?
Right.
So movies kind of prepare you in a way. Yeah. And it's just like it seems almost. How does that happen? No. And then
your agenda is showing.
You can see that, like other countries, like, well, how can I get that sort of influence within the country? And through social media, you see a platform where anybody in the world can communicate with all of these people in one area, and you can organize, create groups, and all of a sudden you have social influence. And I think that's also why they want to crack down and be able to just knock out certain groups. So it's like if they can notice that, this is actually being influenced by a foreign country, they want to be able to cut it out. I'm not saying I agree with it, but it's just why they would all of a sudden start
doing
that. But then they could use that to also influence stuff that continue to do what they've been doing, and then take it online and start to, kind of call certain things, take them out, and then and
basically just it's like trimming a hedge, to get it to look a certain way. You just keep snipping out branches and branches until you've got it.
Well, because they just take out certain pages for whatever reason.
Yeah,
it just seems to be no good reason. All of a sudden, we're going to take this page out. It's got hundreds of thousands of people that follow it regularly. It's got 1 million followers, but people that are active on it, it's active groups, I think, are the ones that they're going to go after. What do you want to say?
Well, and like we were saying at 7 West, it's primarily the apolitical pages that are getting hit the hardest. I mean, Cop Block, Police the Police, Free Thought Project, which are groups that are apolitical and they're dedicated to accountability for the most part.
It's already
happening. They don't have a political agenda.
And they get a lot of shares.
Yeah, and 2 months, I think, before the 2018 midterm elections or whatever, they just got axed, and we were all like, what the fuck, where's Cop Block?
Right.
Where's Liberty Memes?
Why does that one get taken out?
That were just like a few of them were like just posting funny memes and stuff like that. Like, were they a part of the whole like general broad swath of websites that got Facebook pages that got fucked over because of the algorithm, and it was confusing because it's. I don't know.
Well,
like,
something
it's obvious that
on the
there's
face
an
of the
agenda.
earth like that. Yeah, you want to know why.
Yeah.
You know, because all of a sudden it's just like I was interested in that, and what the fuck, where to go?
It's like I'm looking at dang savage, fucking hilarious memes that aren't really that controversial. They're not like dealing with Nazis and the Holocaust and stuff. And now I can't look at these particular fucking memes because somebody in a suit and tie or somebody at Facebook's marketing team who may or may not be a social justice warrior just said, you know what? You're not going to look at these fucking memes. We've determined that we want to carve out what's right for you.
I don't like these memes.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna take them off the internet.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
So
wielding that sort of power?
Yeah.
That's why
everything's the same.
That's why we have meme lords and we're at war.
We're on the front lines of Facebook and Twitter.
The meme
in the United States Meme Corps. Okay?
Push the boundaries,
America.
Jack and Zuck
We're
on the
at
front
war.
lines. And you know what? I'm going to be able to tell my grandkids about it in 35, 40 years. I fucking guarantee it.
Thank you for your service.
We lost a lot of great men out there.
You're a brave man.
Lost a lot of... Got drill in the morning, 4 a.m., my aunt's basement. I got to have my Acer Inspiron on.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Do I have to tell everyone I'm the one shopping his photos for him? If you see any of his photos,
I suck at
he
cropping
messages
faces.
me and he says, "Hey, do this for me. I need it by the end of the day."
Yeah. If I ever share a post saying I took credit for a face cropping on a funny movie thumbnail or movie cover thumbnail, it's his fault. And it's amazing. He face cropped Brandon on fucking Russell Crowe Gladiator.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I woke up.
Did you see that?
I woke up to.
I didn't see that.
No, you want to see
I gotta
it?
see it. Like I saw the Darth Maul.
I'm like, dude. At night I was like, man, you got a Brandon and Gladiator, and you did it. And that was the first fucking thing I woke
I saw the
up
Darth Maul.
He's like, do the one with the glasses.
Oh, let's see. There it is.
Alpha male.
Oh my god.
Alpha male chat.
Solid goal.
God.
Looks even better when you put it up on the screen. It focuses it on it and everything. You're just like, oh gosh.
Brandon Fanning is a pussy.
Gotta let the
There's
people
no
know.
doubt. That's
What are we
we're-
laughing about?
Kind of looks
Brandon, I'm
like he's
back
wearing
here.
a kilt of that though. Like he's got like that little armored skirt on. It's totally a Brandon fan.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wears the kilt, so it's just perfect.
Absolutely. That's what
He does.
see the correlation.
No, when he's on the
He wears underwear. I asked
Brandon
him.
comes on this
He
fucking
wears
podcast.
underwear.
If Brandon comes on this fucking podcast, he's got the
He's
kilt
wearing
on.
the kilt.
He's got the kilt on, but we lower the camera. He twists, turns, and pivots, and we get his twig and berries right on DTube or YouTube, wherever the fuck Steam it, wherever we're going. Daily Motion,
Daily Motion.
great face.
Get a little
Just
blur.
We're gonna get them.
Just, yeah. No,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
that's Brandon fucking Fanning's entrance to the Base Basement podcast.
Oh,
This is rated R at least. At least for
X Factor.
adults. Well, we're not going to show any skin, but we can talk about it probably.
It's more exciting. Get your
will
imaginative,
talk about
creative
it.
juices flowing. Absolutely.
So, who's next? I got to get my thing out about, student loans. I mean, if we want to go further into that, we can,
I
but
think we should, actually.
is there any further that we
Gary-
can dive in
Gary
on
was-
that?
Last night, Gary was like Morpheus with his hands like this in the fucking chair. Or, he was like talking to Neo and he's like this. His fucking legs crossed. He's like just being philosophical, metaphysical, and
What is reality?
yeah, what is reality? And Gary brought up a good point. He was
What does
like,
it mean to you?
what if the state effectively eliminated the interest on the student loan debt, or the collective interest on the current student loan debt?
But you still have to pay back the principal amount.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But I can't remember that conversation, but we got pretty deep into it, man. We were balls deep in that fucking conversation.
Yeah.
And then Gary
I
brought
did-
up Glass-Steagall at 11:35 a.m. or p.m. and we were like, well, fuck Gary, we gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
We could talk about Glass-Steagall for hours.
Just gonna put a pin in this.
And I saw what he was saying, and I guess I struggle with that too, and that is an option. And it's one of those things, I think, that it just does come down to, I'm against it because it doesn't do any benefit for me.
Yep.
But I could see how it benefits other people, so maybe I should vote for it, just because then maybe that's my ticket.
Yeah. Like if you had to toss him a bone, like a statist bone, that would probably be the one. Like just take the interest off. Loan debt. Like just trim the fat. Obviously.
Yeah, but just it still would have to be you're responsible for the principal amount you had taken out, because to say I want to take this much money out and then I have to pay this much money back in, like I think that makes sense. And interest only makes sense because then what makes it worthwhile to even give you the money? Yeah. And that's just the way the world works. Like, I'm not going to give you thousands of my dollars, and then you just have to give me back every single one of those $1,000 to the penny, because I could take that money and invest it in something, and I could do something with it where it makes money for me.
Yeah.
So I need to make money for me one way or another when I have that much capital. I mean, that's just what happens when you have that much money. If you're smart with it, you can make it work for you, and all of a sudden you have dollars coming back in.
Yeah.
And that's what a loan ultimately is. It's just one way for your dollars to work for you. You benefit somebody because they need it now and they have something they want to do, and then they promise to pay you back.
Yeah, I mean, that's what otherwise people wouldn't do it.
Well, that makes it worthwhile. Exactly. So, I mean, I can see why you'd want to get rid of the interest in this sort of a case, but at the same time,
exactly.
For me, as a principled person, it just defeats the purpose of that sort of a thing.
Yeah. It takes away from, it kind of deviates from the personal responsibility aspect of it, because if you sign the contract stating what you're going to pay, then you should pay it.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like 4 or 5 years down the road when some bureaucrats say, oh, well, we're going to take the interest off that. Because if, you know, like...
Well, the interest isn't even that bad.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
When Sam fucking said, oh, it's like 40%, my $800 loan turned into like $1,200 in just a few months. So all of a sudden he's having $100 a month, he's basically saying, added on.
That's like a Western Sky loan. That's usurious.
Yeah.
Jesus.
$100 a month on $800?
Yeah.
That's a really high interest rate. I said, you're well over 10% interest, and your average student loan today is 4.5%. It could be higher, it could be a little lower, but this is a kid that graduated with us, and he was saying it was long ago. So I'm thinking, like, back in the day, interest rates were 3% or less.
Yeah.
So how did you get an interest rate? Yeah, I mean, under 3%. And he's like saying, oh, you know, it should be like other loans, like we have it, comparable to other loans. I'm like, what loans are you trying to compare it to? And then he talks to me like I'm stupid, like housing loans, auto loans. And I just flat out said, my student loan is the lowest interest rate I've ever had. Out of all of my loans,
they do that because they don't want to freaking absolutely kill you to get you into the system and everything.
That's my understanding of it. And when
they don't want to dissuade you from doing that,
right? And when you have somebody saying like it's extremely high is the way he's trying to paint it, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about interest rates? Let's go on about interest rates. I could fucking rattle off all the interest rates like for everything right now, I feel like, because I have loans and everything.
And when he keeps talking about like these high interest rates and everything, he kind of like digs himself, or anybody, by the way, we're not singling out Sam, we're singling out people who make this particular argument.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's not one person, it's a lot of fucking people. And it's like, what are you thinking?
But when he keeps elaborating on like the high interest rates and everything that he has paid in the past, if they are, you know, true and he's not falsifying anything, then he just basically makes our point, which is like, we should have learned about this in high school.
Right. People have no idea what they're signing on to.
And that makes it even like more heart-wrenching and tragic. It's like, holy fuck, does this individual or, you know, these people who have this particular view not know anything about it? Because if they don't, well, like they should.
How do you still not know?
That's true.
I mean, by the time I was 25, I had it figured out, I felt like. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
Parenting. Absolutely. Yeah. Parenting.
Yeah.
Should we get into parenting?
It's like it has to be like kind of a pretty damn good framework. Not perfect, but pretty damn good for you to like understand things and get better education out of what you're experiencing in public schools.
Well, you can't just pump a kid through school and expect them to come out a certain way. You know, you're not going to get this end product because they only spend a portion of their time there. They're going to spend a good portion of their time at home with people that they actually trust and know, because this is where they've come from. These are the people they saw every day, and then all of a sudden you're in school. It's not like all of a sudden...
The intake, too, is variable. Like, some kids get a lot out of school, some kids don't, because they just don't learn well sitting there having someone talk at them. They learn better by doing, or they learn better by, like, you know...
and your behavior is going to depend a lot on your parents too. I mean, you're going to, like, from a very young age, your parents are going to shape who you're going to become in the long run.
Yep.
Yeah.
From a like.
Yeah. We don't need to go over the statistics, obviously.
Yeah.
Like single parent like households and how much more prone they are to violent crime, drug abuse.
We could
not having a good education. Although that would be an entire other podcast. Episode. But yeah. I mean, just on the surface of things, though, at Monticello, where we graduated in 09. I think
greatest town in all of U.S. of A.
Not just Wright County, not
right.
just Minnesota, not just the Midwest, the fucking United States of America.
Yeah.
Greatest town.
Monticello, Minnesota, not New York or whatever, Monticello, wherever else it is. No.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Minnesota, it's where it's at.
Experience.
Anyways.
High school. Difference. What is required? 1 year of in high school. So grades 9 through 12. 1 year of world history and 1 semester of economics, arguably the most important subject.
I love that.
So you wonder why people are getting churned out, these young adults, and that's the thing, it's one thing if it's adults, like, not knowing shit, but it's like young adults who are just getting churned out after 13 years of public education or indoctrination, and they're not learning anything about economics, and that's a problem. Because it's the most it's the fusion of sociology, psychology, math, and maybe another type of science. I don't know.
Well, it's real life.
Yeah,
That's basically what it is. I mean, how much do we learn about real life in school?
Not. A lot of it's just hypothetical. Like, we're literally thinking about the world in a hypothetical sense.
It's not that it's not
thrown into the world, and you're like,
you're learning things that have applications in certain fields that don't really do anything in your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Like, you're learning more about how can I send a rocket into space. Like, that's complicated as far as the math and all of that goes. So I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do. That's a very hard thing. It's interesting, but real world. I mean, is that going to help you figure out how to cook a fucking egg on the stovetop?
Do you want to talk real world? Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, bitch.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
I feel that.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I don't even fucking
but you know.
The last time in real life where I used
it is important.
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. AP Bio, like maybe 11th or 12th.
I thought you were going to say an interview.
Yeah. Dude, an interview? Like,
an interview.
Mr. Driver, what are your qualifications for this particular position? I'd be like, sir, I know how to chew Grizz Mint for more than an hour and gut it. I know how to do burnouts in the Monty Perkins parking lot. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And chicks dig guys who drive trucks. I graduated from the University of Minnesota, Monticello, bitch. Is it like that? And the interviewer leads
hired.
The interviewer leads to the other interviewer and says, Jesus Christ, you told me it was good, but fucking perfect? God damn it. Mr. Driver, you're hired. I put on aviators, I bust out a fucking Yoo-Hoo or a juice box, and I walk out. I step in my fucking Rio, I do burnouts in the parking lot, and then I drive back to my aunt's basement.
And then you don't show up the next one.
I don't show up if it's a fucking retail job. If it's a retail job at the Oberville Mall, I'm gone. That's all.
It all comes full circle.
Why do you apply?
Like the donuts in the
It's just so
parking
funny
lot.
how serious they take it, because I'm like,
oh my god, you heartless son of a bitch.
I have a blackened heart. I'm heartless. I'm still undecided on that. Can't figure it out. But this is how I quit Levi's. There was this poor manager. She was working on an off day, and we had to straighten out the entire store. And her name was Rachel. Not going to say her last name. Not going to name drop too much. And I was like, is it okay if I go on my lunch? It was like 11:45. I was like, I'm going to go to Burger King. I'm kind of hungry, I haven't had anything to eat for my shift because I came in at 6:30. She's like, and she looked up from folding clothes. She's like, yeah, go ahead. And then I went to Burger King. I got a strawberry milkshake, 2 plain Whoppers, and then I never showed up. And I got it was 3 or 4 voicemails later, Mitch, are you okay? Where are you? Did you crash on the...
Oh my gosh.
Are you coming back? And she was genuinely concerned, and I just didn't answer back, and I almost felt bad because...
I almost felt bad.
I almost son of a bitch,
felt bad.
But I almost felt bad. I was like, oh my god.
I started digging into that second Whopper, and it was so good.
Oh, dude, it was fucking fire.
I didn't give a shit. I didn't give 2 shits after that.
But that was my mentality. I was like, fuck retail. Amazon. They have Amazon. They're fucking delivering shit by drones like same day. Within 12 hours in some cases. Gosh. If you buy from Amazon warehouse in certain areas of the country. I haven't
experienced that yet. Have either of you experienced that yet at all?
No, not yet.
No, you'd probably have to be in Minneapolis area because they have a warehouse down there.
Yeah, like anywhere from...
like Shakopee or something.
Yeah, Shakopee is where the warehouse is, but I'm sure like Twin Cities, they would fucking drone that shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, anywhere in there, like within a half-hour flying distance from there, they would probably do it. Because the drone battery time, like most of your camera drones, they max out at like 45 minutes. But I'm sure one of their, invest a lot of money into it. They're worth a couple $1,000s maybe.
Oh my god, imagine if you like hit a baseball or something like that. Like it was flying low over like a game and all this.
Oh my god, yeah. I think they're gonna have a lot of unforeseen things. Like,
right.
I'm sure they've thought of power lines and shit like that,
just eagle attacks your fucking drone as it's flying back. Yeah. It's just I'm sorry, sir, but your drone seems to...
There could be a number of things that would happen. I'm sure they've had lots of meetings and hashed all that out, but I would...
The what-if scenarios.
There's a lot of what-ifs for what could happen, and I'm sure they've seen a lot of stuff in tests that they were like, wow, I did not see that coming. Yeah. That's the world we live in today, though. I mean, I'm on the fence about it. I can't say I've never used Amazon. I don't have the Amazon Prime subscription anymore.
It's a glorious thing.
But yeah, I mean, to have 2 days when I didn't have it all of a sudden and I order and it takes a week to show up, I'm like, what is this?
Right. You're sitting there like looking at your watch, like, what day is it? Like, your phone, you're like, god damn.
But then knowing people in like the mail delivery service and talking about like the headache it is for them to try to handle the sort of volume, and then you want it there within X amount of times, and they gotta make sure that they get all that stuff out that day, and then the next day they gotta get all that stuff out that day, and it's just constant. Just you're never quite caught up. You can probably leave work and see like, yep, I got another busy day tomorrow, and from 7 a.m. till you walk in. Yeah, I mean, but it's, say, 10 hours straight.
Oh, shit.
10, 12 hours straight. Like, they don't have time for a break or anything of just going to every single spot that they've got to go to. They got to run through their routes. Because then the people, like, we want you done at a certain time. That's all we're paying you for, because it's a government job at the end of the day. I mean, isn't that... No, well...
I heard government job at the end of the day.
USPS.
Okay.
The Postal Service for the United States. It's like a private job, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's a private government job?
It's like a private government job. Is that the best way to summarize it?
I guess in an economic sense, it's fascist, like the fusion of the public sector and the private sector.
Yeah.
It's so, I think, breathtakingly obvious that FedEx and UPS completely outperform USPS, and Congress has continued to fund like the liabilities, like the pensions and everything, and like it's just not really. It's just gone red for so long, It's like, but the thing is, it's basically built in the Constitution to have a postal service, so that's kind of what like the state is hanging on to.
Yeah.
When it comes to like keeping it alive, and like even though it's pretty much like in a vegetative state, speaking.
Yeah.
It's just like completely fucking worthless, and so we could do away with it when we have USPS or we have UPS and FedEx that are very efficient and very concise in delivery.
Well, yeah, and Amazon basically gives them something to do.
Well, yeah.
Because how many people are mailing letters these days when you can text or email or any of that shit? Or
I love penmanship, but obviously text.
Yeah, I mean, all the mail I ever get is from
like
local. It's just junk. It's just advertisements. It's nothing. It's nothing worthwhile. It's not like I'm getting letters from, my congressman. Yeah. Or anything like that, asking me how I feel about shit.
It's kind of weird.
It's all online.
It's kind of weird how all that
nothing.
Framework and dynamic has changed. Like, remember when we're in, like, maybe elementary school, middle school, and early high school, where there would still be cold callers? People, genuinely, people from the other end of the line who would call and try to sell you whatever product or good they were selling or service. Well, that doesn't exist anymore. It's all automated, obviously, and, like...
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck...
Well, have you seen text messages? Like Bernie Sanders can just his campaign text you.
I don't even know how the fuck they like got my phone number.
They got
signed
you.
up for
Shannon just got one yesterday, and I'm just like, how do they get? How do they get your number? Where do they get your number from?
They have to get it from like the phone company or something like that. Like
who's giving them? Yeah, that would make sense. I'm waiting for mine when they ask me how I feel about stuff.
Yeah,
will they actually reply?
In college, my freshman year, when I was out in Greeley, Colorado, there were these cute Mormon missionaries that would always follow me across campus. One time I was like, my name is Jamie Scott Feldman. My number is 763, and I gave him Gary's number. A few days later, Gary's like, God, these fucking like Mormon people are texting me and shit. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that fucking sucks.
That's weird.
I keep blocking them and stuff, and they were still like getting at him.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Yeah.
They just wanted that.
We will not be denied.
Huh?
Picture Gary as a fucking Mormon, like just a white t-shirt, fucking blacks.
Just gotta dip in, just working the land.
Skullman or Grisman fucking doesn't matter.
Well, he'd have to be a farmer if he's gonna support like his 5 wives and 20 kids.
Oh god,
you know.
He could do it too. Like we like to rag on Gary and shit on Gary, obviously, in a friendly manner and a smart ass sense. You'll meet him. We'll get him up here. But
he's just beating everyone in life.
He's fucking beating everybody.
He was the class clown, and now he's saying, "Look at me, bitches."
And by the way, it wasn't even close when it comes to like him being the class clown. It wasn't like, ooh, he almost edged out this person or that person.
No,
it's like,
he didn't.
Everybody knows like he's the class clown / dipshit / like funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now he's engaged.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's living the American dream, man.
Huh. It's almost like a 50s... You could put up his face on a fucking 50s advertisement. Like that Norman Rockwell American Gothic painting. Like he has a wife fucking on the farm with a pitchfork.
Yeah.
Jamie Scott right there. This is a fucking dip in like just a like crevice, like a lump right here.
Yeah.
Just like the most detail that I put into the entire work was right there.
Yeah,
just
that dip.
I got it perfectly.
It's like the Obama sperm vein coming down to
that shit. I know what you're talking about.
I love that you compared it to a swimmy though. Like seriously, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, that's what they. Did you see that? It was it was like a big conspiracy.
I've totally seen that vein, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, the Obama painting that he got. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, apparently this guy, people showed his work. He likes to just sneak shit like that in,
really,
to all of his shit. So it's strange to me.
I've never heard this. This is fascinating. What?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you follow certain circles, I guess you just get all sorts of bullshit, and you have to decide whether or not it's real. I'm like, well, I guess it kind of looks like that.
But no, especially nowadays, you never tell with a deep fake. It's like, what's real, what's not. Remember, Joe Rogan was talking with a guest about deep fakes and how they can fake videos kind of mend your skin tone and everything, and in real time, really short periods of time. And then right after he joked about that with a guest on his podcast, somebody made a deep fake of him giving a speech or talking about something that it wasn't the best. It wasn't professional, perfectly done, but it was done to the point where you really couldn't tell that much of a difference.
Well, when you look at it, if you didn't know better, you could say that's Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you would look at it and be like, shit, that looks a lot like him. Something looks a little off about him, but if you saw that in passing, say that was just on the news on TV, and you just saw it as you're walking by in the airport, you would say, that's fucking Joe Rogan on TV. So you can make someone look like somebody else entirely.
Absolutely.
I mean, wasn't Princess Leia dead for the last part of the filming of that movie, and
they used her daughter.
They
used her daughter, but I think they also did.
They did a lot of CGI.
They had to have superimposed her on there because it looks so much like her younger self. It's there's some sort of magic. There's some Harry Potter shit going on in this. That's not real.
Oh no. Well, I think a decade ago, right after we graduated, Mikhail was shouldn't name drop some guy that was really good friends with Gary and myself once.
I don't give a fuck about your names. I'm gonna say your names.
Okay. So, some guy who Gary and I were...
Just say it.
Mikhail. Already said him twice.
Sorry, Mikhail.
But anyways, he was super crazy about a certain celebrity. He's like, you gotta see this shot of Taylor Swift, man. She's naked. like, oh my god, this is fucking crazy. And Gary and I,
Taylor Swift was naked.
We were naturally like, holy fuck! Like, there's a picture of Taylor Swift naked. Of course we. We're like 18, 19 years old. Like, yes, we want to see it.
We got to get my wife down here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it turns out it was a fake. And then we, like, confronted Mikhail afterwards.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Dude, we need to shame you now because you, like,
you thought this was real.
Yeah, you thought it was real. But he's like,
this is secondhand shit.
Still, man, it looks pretty real. Like, they did pretty well with the head and the neck and everything. And like, god damn it. You gave us hope. And you fucking shut us down. A Taylor Swift, like, dude selfie where she's, like,
we had this vision in our oh, yeah. And it's just all shattered.
Yeah, like, it was perfect. It was just, like, beautiful. It was fucking majestic. And then you just had to throw a
and
fucking
you could just
rock at
see,
that glass
it's
pane.
almost like she's wearing that makeup.
That
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just cut.
Yeah.
I got sneak by you boys.
But then we, as we grew older, we kind of saw it through a different lens. We're like, well, even if it was fake, like, that's probably what she looks like. Beautiful, by the way. Not like a sexual sense, but like an artistic, like, nude sense. You know what I mean? Like,
like a friggin', like a, old
like
school painting.
Like like a classical, beautiful mermaid painting of Taylor Swift.
Beautiful mermaid painting.
Yeah, dude.
She shoved the fishtail and everything.
Oh yeah, dude. Just sitting on the rock, like just
some perky seashells.
Seashells, no seashells. Yeah,
Little Mermaid, like Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
she had some perky seashells.
It's true, man. Dude, I listen to Taylor Swift every now and then. It's just like somehow they're figuring out a way to make music shittier, but at the same time, like, catchier. They really are. Like Luke Bryan's music, most of it, like, early is, I guess, at most okay. But a lot of it is just dog shit. But I listen to it all the time. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even think this is good music, but it's just like I listen to it. Ryan, what's some music that you listen to that you know deep down in your heart and mind is shitty, but that it's catchy and you can't stop listening to it? Like maybe some Enya or something, or
Enter Shikari.
Who?
Exactly. Enter Shikari.
Enter Shikari.
Yeah, they're like
that.
You could say they're like a protest band. I like it. They're just kind of catchy, but like Shannon doesn't like them because the guy's not really singing. He's just kind of yelling in a way.
Okay.
So it's not very good. Is that what you're looking for?
That's a perfect definition, dude.
Boom.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why somebody would like them so much, but at the same time, they're not like, oh my god, this is something that just really stands out.
Yeah.
This is so different. It's just, it's a little bit different. It's catchy in a way, but at the same time, it's not like they're really good.
Yeah, gotcha, dude.
And I think there's a lot of music. Like, you're not going to like this. Bob Dylan.
Well, I'm pretty ambivalent when it comes to Bob Dylan's voice. I think his voice is, when looked through, depends on the lens through which you're looking, is either shitty or really good. But obviously his songwriting is out of the question. It's amazing. It's remarkable. It's fucking top level. It's best of the best, obviously, over the past like 4 or 5 decades. But I mean, when somebody says like Bob Dylan has a shitty voice, I'm like, I understand where you're coming from.
Yes, he does.
I don't think anybody like when looking through whatever that lens, whichever lens that person was looking through, is going to disagree, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, there's just like
it depends on what you appreciate. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just, I don't know.
Get there. If you don't get there, yeah.
Certain songs are really good. Don't Think Twice, It's Alright is one of his best like sad Dylan songs, but I think for the rest of his songs, and it's just like groaning, whatever, I don't mind it because of the songwriting. Songwriting's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's just poetry, Sure. Definitely.
Yeah, it's not like he's terrible, but as far as just actual singing ability
that's true.
and how it sounds
just judged on that,
in my ears. Yeah. My ears are like, just like, go to something else, man. Mm-hmm. I'll take anything over this.
And I don't think any hardcore Dylan fan is going to knock you or anybody else who has that view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like,
I have a hard time wrapping my head around it. I really do. I mean, I can understand, like, the words, sure, but the delivery of the words and the...
Yeah, definitely.
How the fuck can you get into that?
Yeah. It's true.
I can't do it.
No, I hear you.
Like power sometimes.
Like, that's why I like sad... Yeah, dude. Sad Dylan songs are my go-to because he's not as vocal. like where he accentuates or magnifies whatever like his vocals are and his voice is. I'll just listen to sad Dylan songs and just fucking be depressed.
But
like,
as far as like bad music goes, though, I gotta say like there's like part of rap that is just like absolutely just atrocious as far as that goes, because you're just
like mumble rappers, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're just like
so bad, so bad.
Enunciate.
And it's just like, oh my gosh.
And it's crazy to think about how rich those guys are. Like, holy fuck, the record deals they sign.
Yeah, they make a decent chunk of change.
It's just
but they capitalize on the catchiness of it. Like when it comes to your music being shitty.
Yeah.
Their music's just like electronic recordings, though.
Yeah.
They just gotta over it, and it's like, and that makes you that much money. What the fuck?
Exactly. Like when Rebecca Black came out with Friday, and there was like that whatever it was, like Factory Records.
Friday, like honestly, like when you brought this topic up, that was the first song that popped into my head. Was fucking Friday, because freaking Kelsey plays it all the time. Every Friday, she's got that song on. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, it's like hearing nails on a fucking chalkboard, but it's like she's under 18. She's under 18 and she's fucking loaded because of auto-tune. Like she has more money than all of us combined will ever make in a lifetime because of that one fucking song, and she didn't even fucking sing it, really.
Right? She just kind of went up there and said words.
Friday,
oh my god!
I remember playing that song.
The chorus is just so bad.
When that song first came out.
We just got copy strike.
She sounds like a 50-year-old smoker. I'm sorry, she does.
She does.
And it's like, well, when that song first came out, I played it like once or twice for. I was like, Mikhail, you gotta hear this. Like, this is a super fucking annoying song that this like teenage chick just sang, and you're gonna want to fucking kill yourself or hang yourself. And he's like, no, I'm not. Like, it's not that annoying. And then I played it like halfway through the song. He's like, turn that shit off right fucking now. Like, it's so bad.
It's so bad.
Partying, yeah.
It's a song for
Taylor.
like, not even 12.
I can't believe you remember that.
Why?
Part of the song.
I literally heard.
How many times? How many times
all the time
did you listen to that fucking song?
We heard it today. Literally heard it today.
On what station?
In what?
I'm gonna investigate
for our work.
Okay.
Because
oh god,
for the line of work that we're in, they'll play
literally
any
just
sort of
catchy
tunes, terrible music. They'll just be playing in the background. Just the kids will get lost in it or whatever. But then we have to hear it too. I mean, did they have no consideration for the adults in the room?
Yeah, it's like, why can't you assholes blare some Led Zepp or something? Like some Zeppelin, some AC/DC?
Just go back to the dish pit. There we go.
Yeah,
we'll save your souls back.
We make up for it. There's a balance.
For sure.
They come into the kitchen, there's like some heavy metal blaring.
You bet. Some fucking Trivium Slipknot. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, baby.
Even worse. I mean, there's some stuff you can't even understand what they're saying. There's no singing.
Freaking
really.
Backbreaker.
Yeah,
yay.
It's just screaming. We've had people come and say, "Oh yeah, this is great for this environment." Like, thank you for playing this.
Awesome,
music.
dude.
Yeah, sarcasm. Yeah.
Hey,
that's funny. Like, hey kids, you ever heard of Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones?
But to answer your question,
get a real education.
Taylor only knows this song because we are tortured with it. It's not that he enjoys the song.
Okay.
It's that we are literally our lives.
Yeah, Mitch.
Yeah, Ryan, I trust you. You're a credible source. Okay.
For us to make a living, we have to suffer through this.
That's true. It's a sacrifice.
It's
trade-off.
just the way it is. It comes with.
It's okay though. The line of work, that does require a certain amount of shame, and I'm willing to bear it.
Yeah.
So
how dare you?
It wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't for if it wasn't for auto-tune. I bet she has an okay voice. You never know.
You think so? You think auto-tune is what made her bad?
No, it made her good. But I'm saying like if she didn't have auto-tune,
but you're saying
it'd be okay. Yeah.
So you're saying it would be more Bob Dylan-esque, so you'd be okay with it because it's more.
If the songwriting was there, if
it was lyrical.
Yeah. Like if she was blaring that fucking nails on the chalk. Yeah.
Like if she just sounded like she sounds, but it actually was like, I can get down with this. This is relatable to my life. Other than I enjoy Fridays.
Yeah.
You could be like, I like this song.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think that she's that enjoyable. I can't imagine a scenario where I could say,
what if she's like fucking
Rebecca Black is really talented and I like her music. Other than Friday.
It just sounds wrong. Like hearing you even say it hypothetically.
How do you say that? You can't listen
what if she's
to
like,
person
you know what? What if we're just verbally shitting on her and just lashing her right now? But she's like Celine Dion. You never know. Like, she hasn't had a single in, like, fucking a decade. But
oh my God.
They have something, though, to show for.
That's
like,
true.
Why do we enjoy her?
Yeah, we could figure out, like, was she getting taken advantage of by a recording studio and, like, producers and whatnot? Or was she actually talented without auto-tune? And she just never fulfilled her potential, Taylor.
Let's bring her out of retirement.
She was
like the Rebecca Black Strikes Back album.
She was the
Rebecca Black Strikes Back.
She was another product of YouTube, though. She was just one of those, like, could have been a Justin Bieber, but she wasn't. That's basically it.
Right place, right time.
She had a catchy tune, and people liked it on the internet.
Oh,
and that's basically what happened to Justin Bieber. Is the
Me Plus You.
Guitar on,
one time,
on
yeah.
the side of the road or whatever, and he has those videos up, and people are like, oh my God, this kid's talented, he's great. So, I mean, that was a little more raw. I can't even say they're comparable because she comes out with the music video that actually is just catchy and that's it.
Yeah.
And that put her up. She had basically a one-hit wonder. She's another one of the... There's many that have happened throughout
she's like,
the years. The 80s, 90s.
She's
like
the millennial...
The 2000s.
She is the millennial Vanilla Ice. Basically.
There you go.
Basically. The female millennial Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Really.
Right. Well, what year was that? That was 2007,
8, probably.
Okay,
9.
yeah. Because I think I can remember listening to it in high school. God, that was so long ago. It's hard to think that was just... It was only a third of my life.
Time just
I've done
fucking
in
flies.
that span of time.
Yeah.
You know, and in that span of time, I fucked my life over so much that I really need the government to save me and bail me out. So
we do it, dude.
Please,
There's the pitch.
We can do it, man. Just vote for Bernie, man. Like
our first ad on Base Basement comes from the Bernie Sanders campaign 2020. A lot of that money that you're sending to him actually comes here to us. So thank you for your support.
Money grows on trees. Unicorns fucking fly. Rainbows are everywhere.
Yep.
And everybody gets what they want.
Yeah.
Scarcity, it's just some like societal concept that
We've
was
already made America great again.
Yeah. Money is not finite. We have printers.
Yeah,
Print 2020.
We can just put ink and paper together, and everybody's gonna be rich. Duh.
I have these dollars in my pocket.
Dipshit.
And they just showed up because someone printed it. Like,
yeah,
why
man.
can't we just have more dollars and more pockets?
Fucking.
And that would make the world a better place.
Yeah, like.
That's the argument.
Ron Paul, what a dipshit, talking about precious metals and gold and silver.
That's seriously the argument, though.
Like an apple juice back there.
An apple juice.
Apple juice?
Apple juice.
I don't have access to an apple juice by
I have an extra Mike's Hard. Apple juice plus the gut rot.
Dude,
I had the black cherry one.
When I was hanging out with you once and you were here, and I had one of those and I threw up.
Really?
I didn't know you threw up.
Off of a Mike's Hard. Like, seriously, it made me feel like shit, and I threw up after.
Here's the important question with Detective Driver. What kind of flavor was the MHL?
Dude, it was like your standard lemonade.
Okay, well, that's shit. That's not the black cherry.
Yeah.
The black cherry.
Broski, that's not the cranberry.
I do like the cranberry, man. The cranberry is an amazing flavor.
Yeah. You need a UTI cured? Cranberry. Cancer? HIV? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Cranberry MHL, bitch.
Cranberries. They grow in a bog. They gotta be good for you.
They're probably like there's probably like some scientific concoction like where can we cure everything at once? It's like some witch like brewing in a fucking pot. Absolutely. She's like Mike's Hard Lemonade. Black cherry.
Black cherry.
Black cherry. It is
the elixir of life.
The elixir of death
like
and life.
Mike's Hard black cherry lemonade.
It's like it doesn't even make sense. It's the elixir of life, death, and a black hole or
and
something.
A black hole, seriously, bottled into one thing. That's why it's black cherry, dude. Dude. That's where the black hole.
Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, man. Straight up. So student loan forgiveness is a dumb idea.
It is.
It is.
Should we have our second ad? Should we run ads back to back and just get them out?
Strongbow or angry?
No, our second ad from this wonderful local shop that makes plastic products for women. Mitch?
This episode of Base Basement is brought to you by Brandon's Dildo Shop. Brandon does not have a dildo shop, as far as I know. I hope he's not fucking listening.
You didn't say it into the
Brandon,
mic, so he's not going to
again.
Yeah.
Brandon, I'm fucking joking. Okay, it's a joke. it's not even that good of a joke. It's fucking immature. It's like high schoolish.
No, it's great.
It's great and it's dumb, you know? Like,
what makes it funny is it could be real.
Exactly. Like, he doesn't own a dildo shop, but does he own a dildo shop?
Could. It's a possibility.
Like, we don't know. If you Google Brandon's dildo shop, is there gonna be a fucking site? And hey, Cleo's back there joining us on the podcast.
Yep. Lady in the room.
Why didn't we say a disclaimer, dude? You should have reminded me, even though I've been drinking. Like, you should have said, should have done what Joe always does on his podcast. Like, that's all you want to do. You just want to keep a fist away from the microphone. There you go, just like that, just like that.
Oh yeah, sorry.
And sometimes he'll physically put a fist right there.
You got to talk into the microphone to.
That's true.
Have it catch you.
Oh, that's too common sense. I don't have common sense. I'm pretty dumb.
No, you're good.
I'm pretty
good.
I'm
just a dick.
I'm getting there.
It's fine.
Both of us. You're a dick.
Well,
I'm pretty dumb.
How many friends have you lost over Facebook? I mean, that's real life shit, right?
Over 30.
At least
over 30. Over 30, and like I would say a third of them were good friends.
Facebook.
Really?
Rest in peace, fam. Rest in peace, fam.
This podcast is for you guys.
Yeah.
The lost ones.
You're gonna get a letter in the mail. You didn't make the cut.
You didn't make the cut, guys.
You know, and I'll be honest. If Brandon doesn't come down here in like the next fucking 30 minutes,
he might.
He's on thin ice. No.
When you gotta trim it,
I'm not gonna ask Brandon
on your profile. You might look at it and be like, "I have too many calories," and
I'm trying to get down to that. I'm trying to get down to that 1,200 calorie per day diet.
Gosh,
fucking caloric intake.
Dude, you're gonna lose weight at that point every day.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that's a funny. Oh no, I haven't gotten down to that. I'm down to like 1,450 or 1,500 a day.
So you should be losing weight.
Oh, I am.
I am. Your body's gonna burn 1,600.
That's why it's funny when people. That's why it's funny when people say like, "Oh, it's so tough to lose weight." I'm like, really?
How about consume less?
Yeah. It's like just portion your fucking food. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter what you eat as long as you're like. Is it output greater than input when it comes to caloric intake? You're bound to lose weight regardless. That's how my mom lost so much weight. That's how I lost so much weight.
Yeah. Well, and then people say, "Oh, it's carbs or it's this or that," but
I mean, so many different diets for that.
Oh God, yeah.
And it could be sugar, and I get that to a certain extent. But let's say it's energy versus energy in versus energy out. If you put in so much fuel into your body, it's going to store it.
Yeah.
Because it can't use it all. So
and that's where
you end up racking up all these points.
Exactly.
And then it gets harder to use it because guess what? Those points, you have to use them to lose them. You're adding this poundage.
That's
like I was at pounds, and you got to carry it every day.
Exactly. I think like 2.5 years ago, I was at like 217 or 218. But the thing was, and for BMI, I mean, I'm like 5'11" and 3/4 or 6 feet, and I was at like 217 or 218.
It's a little high, but not terrible.
But the thing was, like, it was all in my sides.
Your mid area.
Yeah, all of it. And
those handles.
Yeah, and I took a shower one time, I dried off, and I just looked in the mirror, and I was like, it literally happened in a few seconds. I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm gonna do what my mom did. I'm gonna start like watching my caloric intake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whatever I consume, I'm going to burn more of at the end of the day. And then within like 5-6 months, I was down to like 175, 180. Now I'm not sure if like I ate like, and the thing was like I just counted calories and I ate like shit, but I still lost the weight. I didn't do it right, obviously, but I'm still down there, and it worked.
When I was on my all pizza diet, I don't
know. I just don't eat a lot.
Oh yeah, I maintained 140, 145, and I was literally eating pizza all the time.
Yeah,
because I was working in a pizza place every day.
Yeah,
for most of the day.
Yep.
So all I did was eat what was there, and thankfully it was decent quality stuff. But the amount you eat, I think, then reflects what your body's going to look like.
Exactly.
That's the only thing that makes sense. Because I think what I learned in school is mass is equal to mass.
Yep.
You're not going to have, X mass go in and you're just going to gain, X times 2 all of a sudden. Like you
just think about it though. Like you look at a pizza, right? You get like half a pizza, and you're looking at the shape of it and whatnot, and then you look at the shape of a whole pizza. It's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't eat the whole pizza.
Yeah, and that's so.
Just half. a couple pieces to a half of the pizza.
You know, when the pizza's good, it's like
it's hard.
It's fucking tough not to eat it all, and that's something I've only recently found out that I've like been able to discipline myself when it comes to eating. I'm like, okay, wait a second, I can eat like maybe a quarter to a third of the pizza if I'm super hungry, and then I can save it, or I can fucking eat the whole pizza, have that instant gratification, and then feel like a fat piece of shit, and then have to eat a good portion of food later.
I burned off all this.
It's tough. It's a mental battle.
Yeah.
Well, there's the possibility where you just eat in a certain window of time. Yep. I think 8 hours on, 16 hours
like what you've been doing. Yep.
Is well, I try to, but now I can eat early in the morning and I can eat all goddamn day.
Yeah.
So
I've kind of turned into a grazer.
Well, I have been a grazer, and I've noticed the difference. I've been actually able to pack on more, and I've never been able to do that with my previous line of work. I was moving all the time. I didn't have the chance to really sit down and eat a whole lot of food, but now I'm food from the time I start till the time I'm done, and then I come home and then I eat more.
Yeah.
And it's easy. All of a sudden I'm gaining weight like crazy in a short amount of time.
Yep.
So I can see how somebody can just rack up the poundage because you just go through a certain lifestyle and then you consider it normal.
Yeah.
For me, it's brand new because I've never done this, but I can see how you could easily pack on pounds
Absolutely.
when you eat from breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Absolutely.
From the span of the time you wake up till you're done. And then you're just on that constant cycle. Whereas before, I would get a window of time to eat, and then outside of that, I'm not eating because I don't have time to.
Exactly.
So I have a small time to eat. I get it all down. I stock myself up. I get my tank filled up, and then I gotta wait until the next time I can eat. I maybe get 2 meals a day if I was lucky.
Yeah.
Now I'm eating 7. I'm like a fucking dwarf. So I can see the difference in what that does to the body because I've been experiencing it personally. And people would say like, "Oh, you just have a high metabolism." I'm like, I don't eat enough food to start looking like you.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
Seriously.
It's not because my body's different than yours. Like, I physically do not put as much into my body.
It makes you want to like sit there and like count the calories for them and be like, see, there's your number right here. This is how many calories you just took in eating this amount of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's how much I took in. This is the portion that I ate. So here we go. Here's the difference. There's about a 1,500 calorie difference here. And it's like,
and it all kind of comes back to when the state started subsidizing sugar. I think it was like the 70s or something like that, and made sugar super cheap. And you go to a Walmart now and you talk to Walmart employees and stockers. Well, what's the first section of the grocery store that has to get restocked right away because it's fucking out? Like all the sugary foods and everything, and
I'm sure chips is like the top
god, Jesus
thing.
Christ, yeah. It's crazy.
Cornstarch,
just
high fructose corn syrup. All the ways that could sell syrup in any way, shape, or form, or corn.
When you think about it, like that's a damn good way to fuck over like an entire populace to say, hey, we're gonna like just make sugar and sugar cane, whatever is associated with it, super fucking cheap, like fructose syrup, corn syrup, anything. Like we're gonna make it super fucking cheap so even the peasants can just engulf it in mass and indulge.
Yeah, I think if they get any sort of subsidies from government on top of the mass quantities they can produce, and they sell in large volumes, which makes them hard to compete with, because that's where a lot of money can be made, is in volume.
Oh, absolutely.
When you have somebody that can then regulate a market through government and you can't even compete against them, what do you do? I mean, that's how you create monopolies.
Precisely.
Monopolies aren't created through just, this one person just can control the whole fucking thing because they can do whatever they want because they're God. The only way you can do that is when you have the state that has your back and they can just shut people down.
They can just tilt it in their favor and through regulations and barriers,
certain rules.
Yep.
I mean, you see that. I think John Stossel did a beautiful thing where he showed how a moving company, just people trying
that was in Kentucky too, where like all the competitors, like if there's a new moving company, and this was, by the way, like a few years ago, but it's still probably the same laws in the books.
It's still relevant.
Yeah. Where like if a moving company wants to become or like get in the business of like moving and hauling,
if they even want to exist,
they have to consult the competitors, and the competitors have to universally agree, at least in a majority, that company who's starting out can exist.
If they want to do business, the established companies that are in this circle, like imagine a round table. So the companies that are sitting at the round table, if they want someone else to come sit at their table, they need to vote that person in. Otherwise,
that's fucking
they
crazy.
can't even come in. So this moving company that people were preferring
That's not how things are supposed to run, though.
Right.
Yeah.
And people are against that sort of thing, and they think that thing can happen because, capitalism. But capitalism actually could self-regulate to the point where that sort of thing does not happen. Because if you have somebody that is abusing, say, their employees, or abusing the system, or doing whatever, you could just not use that service, and you have an alternate service that doesn't do that sort of thing.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the beauty of this sort of system, is you have options to vote with your dollars for who you want to exist. But in this sort of model, like he was describing, you can't have that where the businesses that exist are controlling who comes and goes. It's not the people that are spending their dollars. It is the businesses themselves controlling who comes and goes. Yeah. And I think that's where everything gets lost.
I think
it's got to be up to the people who exist. What platform do we want to have here? Do we want Walmart? Do we want Target? Well, lots of people shop there.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do about
that?
One's
like, you're going to be misrepresented every time. Like, it's just, it's
pretty much.
You're going to be stuck in a stagnant state, basically, like, where if everybody's got the power just right there on who's sitting at that table, you know.
Yeah, well, during the Obama,
they get to pull the strings.
During the Obama presidency, it's kind of the same thing along those lines. Analogously, there was a proposed tax on like flights and airlines and like carbon taxes, whatever, and all the smaller airlines of like domestic airlines in the United States were saying, no, we don't want this fucking tax. Because all it's going to do is give the bigger airlines more market share because they can afford to lower the profit margins and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So they like banded together. There was a conglomerate of smaller airlines that said, fuck no, don't pass this tax, don't pass this tax. Obama passed it, and then the major airlines like got more of a market share.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like the minimum wage or anything else. You can squeeze certain markets, use government to squeeze the small people out that are taking a little bit, and then you gain all of those customers, so then you make more money in the long run.
That makes too much sense, Ryan. You need to...
Well, yeah, I mean, it happens time and time again, but how do people not realize that?
That's what I'm kind of flabbergasted about.
That's the fucking perplexion.
Kind of like, over here, question mark.
Yeah.
And people will vote for politicians that advocate for this exact thing to happen. Yeah. We want to shut down your ma and pa shops. That might as well be Bernie Sanders' slogan.
Pretty much.
We want to shut down all of your local business so that Amazon can profit bigly.
Oh God! Yeah, as if Amazon hasn't already received, enough tax breaks, like subsidies, everything. Like, we're gonna make a second headquarters, in New York, and we're gonna get huge tax breaks. As many jobs as that would create, and as much tax revenue as that would provide for the state, it's like you're just even at that point you're tilting so much in favor of Amazon.
Yeah,
that like exactly
so like things, you're pushing it towards a monopoly.
Yeah,
right? And you become conflicted with people like AOC, who is strongly against that, who supposedly was one of the people that helped block it.
Yeah.
So then, do you support someone like that, or are you against someone like her?
Exactly.
In that sort of a case,
when because she brought up,
it's not like she's terrible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I think you're missing a lot of information when it comes to these subjects, because you're not well versed. You can tell, because you have only small bits that you can throw out there, little sound bites.
Yeah,
that's about it.
There's no doubt in my mind she's gaslighting. She's not that stupid.
Well,
it might be a combination, but
it's hard to. And I'm not trying to say she's stupid.
Yeah.
But somebody who is just completely narrow-minded, you got the tunnel vision, and you're in this seat where all of a sudden you can be just fast-laned up to the front, everybody can see you, and then you're all of a sudden stuck in the headlights, and you're like, holy shit, like, here I am.
Yeah.
So then you get caught in a lot of certain situations where you're trying to speak to certain issues that you've never even thought much of.
Yeah.
Because you're in the public eye
but
all of a sudden.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that Amazon argument, like 25,000 to 30,000 jobs are coming to my district through, Amazon and like warehouse jobs and everything. But she didn't emphasize, I don't think, like the tax breaks, the subsidies Amazon was getting and stuff. She like pointed to it a few times, but it's like
going to be a win for them.
I mean, she could easily like make that semi-libertarian argument that like, well, we're not going to tilt it in favor of Amazon. Obviously, we want them to come here and create jobs and like have these awesome jobs for my constituents in my district, but at the same time, like, we're not going to give them any tax breaks, subsidies, and
imagine what that would have done for her, because I don't think she would have alienated her base, because she would still be saying, well, we don't want these sort of jobs coming in this fashion, where they're subsidized by government through all these favors. she could still keep them and then take on people that are more like you and I that would say, we agree.
Yeah.
Why is government becoming involved? Let Amazon do their own thing.
Exactly.
Bring these jobs about.
Yeah.
She could have then still got the jobs and done it in a way that isn't people using government
is
to their
ethical
favor.
is ethical and,
Yeah,
and effective.
What she's trying to do ultimately is that. I mean, she wants to use government for the people.
Yep.
But also,
but she
she's
did
supporting them at the same time.
She did the complete opposite of what we would have done. She tried to use government for the people, but it kind of backfired at the same time.
Yeah.
And those jobs went to West Virginia or Virginia, wherever that's fucking second headquarters of Amazon was going to be.
Because they're trying to expand because they're doing big things.
You bet.
Especially if they want to deliver to New York. They need something in New York if they want to do their drone deliveries, get a warehouse there or whatever it might be.
Dude.
So I could see why they would. They probably could have met halfway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somewhere.
If they would have just sat down AOC on her fucking public transport train, whatever she wants to ride, so she isn't a hypocrite because of her Green New Deal, and then Bezos flying in on his private jet getting blown by 5 different
trains are the way, I mean,
exactly. Dude.
That's the best way for me to get up the hill to work.
Oh yeah, man.
By train.
Yeah, dude.
We need more rails.
A train powered by liberal bullshit, not by fucking actual electricity that has to get worked hard for in nuclear industry or the coal industry or natural gas.
It's interesting that
the fucking Green New Deal. We got to save that for. We got to have Carl on. Carl's going to be on in episode 4. I already fucking planned it out.
But if we were to realistically go towards that sort of mode of transportation, especially where we're at here in Duluth, it's just not possible.
No.
I mean, how would you bring her here and say, "Can you please explain to me how are we going to run rails all across this?"
All she would do is she would not go into any details. I just got to get some black cherry. BC, man. BC MHL, motherfucker. But yeah, no, she would just simply say with the people behind us, we can do that. We can really make rails in Duluth. We can even make a maglev. Do you want maglev trains like in Japan?
Because if
we can do it.
If we have bodies, if we have people, that's all that matters.
We're just gonna put the mandatory labor to work. And we're not even going to worry about the details, the costs, the fucking infrastructure,
We're going to turn everybody's front yard into a garden because that's beautiful.
No, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Peace, love, and
save
gardens.
It for episode 2.
And
I got to hold him back.
Are we this is a good one, though. Can we please get him on the show?
Yeah.
And we can just talk about mandatory gardening.
Okay.
And how we're going to distribute the pumpkins.
We're not going to name drop, but the thing is,
I love name dropping because it just calls people out. I would love for somebody to call me out on my bullshit. Say, Ryan, you do this dumb shit. I'd say, please, I'd love to hear it.
You fucking understanding supply and demand and scarcity and inflation. You fucking idiot.
It's not my fault that I have an argument other than peace and love. Yeah. I mean, I'm all about that shit.
Yeah, man.
Don't get me wrong.
You hate, people being paid more? What a fucking
I would love for people to make more money as long as it makes sense. I mean, are you providing value to the market?
Are you providing economic value to the marketplace?
Well,
great
absolutely.
Question. Absolutely.
I mean, isn't that what ultimately gets you a paycheck is you provide some sort of value that is then measured in dollars because then those dollars produced this? I mean, that's how any business works is I need to put in a certain amount of labor that's then going to generate these dollars, and they think my labor is equal to all of the dollars you brought in.
That makes
Never
so
mind
sense.
That you paid the rent for the building.
That
Never
makes
mind
too much
that you paid
sense,
for the
Ryan.
supplies. If you paid for the supplies, you bought all of the equipment and everything we need and what we're selling. Never mind that. I get 100% of it because I fucking scanned that shit. And I put it in a fucking plastic bag. And I handed it to the customer. And I took their money. So as far as I see, I get 100% of that shit. And you can suck my dick. I mean, isn't that what they're saying, though? I mean, can somebody clear it up for me? Name drop me. Say, Ryan, please. You're wrong because of X, Y, and Z. You're missing this. You're missing this factor that it saves children in Africa.
You're being so facetious, so satirical right now, and so correct and right. I want to say you're wrong, but you're not wrong. You are 100% correct.
I mean, your work is valuable, to a certain extent, and it's measured by dollars. I'm not going to say everything you do is worth $1 million, because it's not. Because you don't have $1 million for scanning that shit. Anyone could do that. And if you want to...
One word, specialization.
Specialize in scanning barcodes?
Specialization in general.
Well, yeah, robots are going to replace most of
That's
everything.
why I want a $50 minimum wage so we can fast-track automation. We can say, you know what?
Every business will say, all right.
Every business, okay, you're paying...
the dollars, we're getting it done.
The politicians are going to come in, they're going to be like, $50 an hour, right now, it's mandated by law. And then every supervisor is going to be like, all right, robots, Elon Musk, Neuralink, SpaceX, Tesla. Let's get those fucking Terminator, T-101s, T-103s bagging groceries. Like, we're going to fast-track automation, bitch, because we want to cut costs.
Then where is the money going to flow to?
That's true.
Like, who's going to...
This is I like Yang's arguments. I like his where he's going with it, but his solutions are so shitty.
Yes. And
so shitty.
I can see the problem, because while we did have, with farming and automation and how less people are now farmers, so we don't need to have so many people that are supplying food. One person can supply so much more food for everyone.
So many more people.
Exactly. So you can really scale that back, but... Now, as we're scaling all these things back, what's the next thing we're going to do? They just say, oh, the next thing's just going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen. But what is that?
Singularity Neuralink.
How does that generate money?
That's true.
How does that provide a functioning economy? How are you even going to buy the Neuralink if you have no job?
That's true. like automation, I think people can make an argument for overstating and understating automation and like what it's going to do by like when Ray Kurzweil like pulls down his pants and beats off to like the singularity in like 2030 and 2045, like 2050, what's going to happen? You can understate it or overstate it. When it comes to automation, like maybe we might have Skynet, or maybe we might still have like asphalt roads. Like there might be an in between, but I think automation is going to take out a lot of the workforce. At least 25 to 40%. Like when Yang talks about it, I think he makes some valid points. Obviously, he's a statist. He advocates for like more like state sanctioned and based solutions that aren't effective and don't make sense, like as universal basic income, because a lot of people are going to be impoverished because of automation. Right. But that doesn't mean we should take unethical routes to like just taking money from people and paying out people, for the fuck of it, who don't do anything and don't provide economic value to the marketplace.
Well, yeah, and then I think that's the issue with this socialist utopia, is you want to have everything funded, but you're going to have certain people then that just grow the food.
Exactly.
And then you're going to come in and take the excess because you need to feed the people.
Yep.
Is your argument.
Yep.
It sounds all nice.
Yeah.
But it also sounds a lot like slavery. And that's why I said to him, like, that's slavery.
Yeah, that's similar to the argument when it comes to like free, quote, free, underlined, asterisk, free education, college, university, whatever. Because if somebody wants to go into trade, well, they're getting a portion of their income taken from them and spent on people who are going to college, while the person who's like doing that particular trade, like whatever it is, isn't paying for that. They're not going to college. And that's like arguing on principle, not necessarily on quantity, like how much is taken from their income, how much is spent on college, but the fact that you're taking from somebody who isn't going to college and paying for somebody else who is going to college and not, working in trade or generating an income in general.
Right.
Like that's...
You're taking from a system that you're not ultimately paying into.
There's no skin in the game.
Maybe.
Yep.
What job is that going to be, though?
Yeah, but throughout your life, if you don't pay into it, or like if you work a trade and you pay into it, but you never go to college, then that's morally and inherently and intrinsically unethical, right?
Right.
That's...
Yeah, I'd agree.
Absolutely. No, if you went to school specifically for that, and then you're just like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this.
Well, and this is another point too. When, like, let's say free college, whatever, takes effect, and you can go to, tuition free, like public universities, private universities, whatever. Like, if you quadruple the number of people who get engineering degrees, well, the job market isn't going to like rise up with the number of people who have degrees, right? It's just 3 or 4 times as many people who have engineering degrees, and the number of openings isn't going to exponentially or substantially increase.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You have a finite base.
Yeah,
Ultimately.
exactly.
Yeah.
So all that does is it like saturates, well, like employers can bid down wages because now there are more applicants bidding for a basic job.
But are you getting quality people in that position?
Exactly.
When it comes down to just throwing money at something. Because that's what the degree would be. You're just pumping money into this degree, which makes this degree more valuable in a way because it's more expensive.
Yeah. But in terms of the job market, it's kind of
generate that sort of value in the real world.
No, like
yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
I mean, maybe sometimes
you can measure it though, and it's like it doesn't. You can just look at the numbers.
Sometimes it does. I mean, that's where it becomes hard to say no, you shouldn't go to school, or yes, you should, because what's your end game?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go to school just because you're trying to check marks on the box of life, just be like, yep, here it is.
And it's so fucking sad that parents
put that. I went to college.
Yeah,
the bucket list of life. Yeah, whatever it is. But
it's like, are you going to school to major in engineering? Or like maybe teaching English, communications, whatever? Or are you going to school for like anthropology, gender studies, sociology, which I hear has a fantastic job market.
Really good return rate on that.
Yeah, exactly. Really great 98.3% placement rate for sociology majors.
Philosophy, all of that stuff. I mean, it's not like communications. There's so many things that you could end up going to school for and becoming $40K in debt.
Yeah.
And
you just
who's going to hire you? Because you don't know anything about finance because you still haven't learned anything about money. So you don't know what it's like to work at this sort of establishment. And why would you want somebody working for you if they don't even understand the dollar?
Yeah.
They don't even understand what you're working for.
Exactly.
What they're giving you, what it means to your business to give them $12 per hour that they're working and what they're expecting out of you for that. I mean,
precisely.
You don't get that out of school. You don't know what it's like to work and make a penny.
You could really...
all you did was borrow pennies.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay interest on all of them and you don't give a shit until all of a sudden you have to pay it back and say, this isn't fair. Can you please forgive this?
Yeah.
My bad. Please.
It doesn't hit you until it fucking hits you like a fucking wave.
You get the check and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, how much did I take out? Like, you signed it all along the way. Why is it my fault? And
it kind of fades from memory when they probably like dwell on that like philosophically. Like, wait a second, like 3.5, 4 years ago, after all the awesome college parties where, I hooked up with these awesome chicks and drank these awesome drinks and parties and stuff. It's like, hold on, I signed a fucking contract where I gave away 4 years of my life, and I didn't earned, if anything, a below average annual income to enter a field that is saturated, and I didn't think about that beforehand.
Because
that's when it hits you.
I'm blinded by pussy. I'm blinded.
Pussy is man's greatest incentive. Is that not a
blinded by the experience? People live for. I've seen this before too. People that don't go to college and then they can live this life where they think they missed out because they didn't get to go through the party days.
Yeah,
and that's what college is. It's like party days.
Part of the problem is
$30K for the party days.
Yeah,
are
that's
you
true.
Fucking stupid?
It's like you see. It's like if you're a young guy and you haven't gotten laid, and you just see that all these college, like you watch Animal House, and it's like alcohol, pussy.
Yeah,
that's college, and then it reinforces like advertisements. Like colleges even kind of promote this in a modern sense, and it's like, holy fuck, I've been missing out on that. Right. Now, I'm not even going to think about the fucking cost.
Well, that becomes the appeal then.
Like all of that. Into it. I think a lot of people like just go to school.
Everyone does it.
They don't even care about
for
what they're really going into.
That's so true. Kind of like God damn it, Taylor with the point of the fucking podcast.
And they're just
episode.
like, look at me. I'm going to school. I'm going to college. And it's like, but what are you going to college for? Well, I'm just kind of figuring it out.
That's so true. That's so.
I'm in school. I'm
God
still
damn it.
figuring out.
I just, you know.
Well, that's why
I'm learning
people
this
switch
stuff.
degrees all the time. And think of how much money that costs.
Oh, no, you are not going to
name
name drop.
College for like 8 years.
I know who you're thinking of.
And they still don't have a degree.
You're not going to name drop.
We won't name drop.
We won't.
That's at least one person, and we can name a few others if we really wanted to.
You and I were thinking of the same thing, and I think, honestly, Taylor could probably figure it out. We were talking about.
Yeah.
If he's sober enough to recall the past 5-10 seconds.
We won't mention
that
name.
But
as much as I like to mention names, because I don't care. If you said it, and especially if you said it online, I can call you out.
That's true.
Is that not true?
Call us out.
Can I legally say this person said this on the internet?
Say, you know what?
That's okay. That's valid.
Ryan, Mitch, and Taylor said some things in a basement one time on Friday.
Say that.
January, what is it, 17th, 2020?
That is the day. 1/17/20.
Those sons of bitches. You know what? We're going to make a podcast and we're going to fucking roast them.
Yeah.
We're going to... They're done. They're going to be crying in that fucking corner by those paintings.
If you will post your opinion online, I should have every right to ridicule you on video and audio.
Yeah.
I should be able to sit here and just tear you apart, point for point.
Yeah.
And then you can come back at me. Come sit down. You can be in this
God
other
forbid
microphone.
you sit down with us and have a fucking civil conversation.
Well, yeah, if it's online, people say, I've lost people because I call them out online. They are posting, this guy, he was being such an asshole to me. And I'm just taking it. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to let you just keep going down this road because I think you're making yourself look stupid because I know exactly what you're talking about. You're telling me I have no idea what I'm talking about. So then I post on my Facebook, this guy's really trying to tell me that I have no idea what I'm talking about. Is this real life? I know a bit about student loans and all of that and money and finance.
A fuckload about student loans and finance.
It's not like I know everything. But he's trying to tell me I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything about student loan forgiveness.
You don't. But at the same time, his own article supports...
He shares an article. He shares an article trying to just completely own me. He's like, I'm going to share this article. Look at the title of this article. You're completely destroyed. Completely wrecked.
Hashtag R-E-K-T. Yeah. Not even the fucking grammatical spelling. Wrecked.
I open the article and I read it and I say, I could say, this paragraph, this line, it's literally word for word what I was saying to him. I'm like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's it's not as simple as you're making it out to be. It's complicated. I'm like, I didn't even need to quote it. I just told him.
Oh, okay. I was thinking he just stopped talking to you.
He stopped talking to me because he probably read the article, saw that it did say what I was talking about, so he proved me right with his own article. I didn't even have to look it up. Yeah, I didn't even have to look it up. I didn't have to back up my own stuff. He shared the article that proved my point.
Did he even give you a well fuck?
No, he didn't even say, "Oh, got me."
Well,
I get unfriended.
You know what's a well fuck? You won when it's a well comma. Fuck. You
won when you get unfriended at the end of the argument. Because if I'm the one that I'm the one that got removed, it says a lot more about you when you're the one making the act of cutting the ties.
Well, and the funny part about it,
I'm just like, hey man, I think you're wrong.
Yeah. Well, the funny part about it is
not that I think I know you're wrong.
For sure. Sorry. No, don't need to apologize. There's no degrading slang term for libertarian anyways. So if you wanted to just
you
throw that
loving asshole.
You fucking freedom lover. I'm unfriending you shithead. Or it's liberals, we have so many fucking names. I'm assuming you're a statist liberal, whatever, Democrat, leftist. We have so many fucking nicknames. We're literally loaded. We're just waiting for somebody. We're you know that meme with Chris Pratt trying to hold off the Velociraptors. It's whenever some statist posts some bullshit about that,
we're just stuck in the middle of it.
Yeah, we're yeah. It's just we're trying to hold off those fucking rattles. Okay,
Oh, we got between us and these fucking rappers, the goddamn whistle.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
we gotta have that. Yeah. It's gonna say Mitchell Driver.
Oh God.
Republicans, Democrats.
Exactly. All you gotta do is just I tag you or you tag me, and it's okay, if I'm at my fucking mom's funeral, I'm dropping what I'm doing. If you tag me on a fucking comment thread or a section, I don't care if it's fucking Reddit, Facebook, or Twitter, I'm there, man.
We need you down on the front line, son. We got a battle.
We're in the trenches in the Great Meme War, Mr. Shrupp.
Great Meme War.
Okay.
No,
we need to flank the lib turds and the SJWs. All right. Zuck and fucking Jack off on Twitter. Although I think Jack isn't as leftist as robotic Zuck is, but Zuck the cock. That's for another conversation, I'm sure.
Have more freedom in it, but there's a lot.
But there's so much bureaucracy. There's so much layers. Like the Saudi prince has like an 11% stake in Twitter. Like Jesus Christ.
That's a lot.
That's so much influence when you think about how big Twitter is.
Yeah.
You know, if you had an 11%, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong. If you had an 11% stake in Twitter in the early days of Twitter, that's nothing. But an 11% stake in Twitter now? Holy fuck. Like, that's a lot of influence. Like, you're going to be able to fucking swing things one way, you know?
So,
Jesus.
To try to say that they don't have any type of sway and there's no type of agenda.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, like, Jack, honestly, Jack seems like he is much more, like, semi-libertarian than Zuck is. Zuck is a fucking robot who needs a booster seat in Congress. Fucking ban me on Facebook, Mark.
No, I'm good.
Who sips his water like a fucking alien.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm good.
And he doesn't seem as, like, in the classical sense, liberal as Jack does. But the problem with Twitter is there's so many, like network analysts, IT specialists, engineers, whatever, that are hellbent, SJWs who are hellbent on, like, you know, like shadow banning, all that stuff that James O'Keefe has really, like, exposed. Like, one of James O'Keefe's guys at Project Veritas, undercover journalist, which is, by the way, undercover journalism gets demonized, but it's the most valid kind of journalism in existence.
When people rip on it, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like, one of James O'Keefe's guys at Project Veritas got drunk or was at a club with one of the Twitter, like, network analysts, like, engineers, whatever. Yeah. And the engineer basically admitted, like, we shadow ban conservatives.
Yeah.
More so than we do liberals. Yeah. Like, we just shadow ban them, we censor them, we do all this kind of stuff, and it's completely, it's undercover. He doesn't know, and a drunken mind speaks sober thoughts. Isn't that the classical saying? I mean,
sure. I think when you get that sort of real conversation, nobody knows that anyone else is listening. It's just you and I. Who else is going to hear this? Then you probably are going to say something, and then shit, it was caught on camera, on video, microphone, all of that. It's just then like, what do? You come up with some sort of story, like the company has to make some sort of statement about
pretty much PR. Yeah.
But I think a lot of that happens because I think Jack tried to point this out on the Joe Rogan podcast was. A lot of this happens is because we get so many reports from left-leaning people about right-leaning people.
Yeah.
Whereas right-leaning people are not going to report you for what you say because freedom of expression, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So they target more people in this area simply because this is the reports that we're getting.
And here's
we have to make action because we're getting X number of reports from this person.
Those are some valid points, and that's where I kind of sympathize with, like, the engineers in Twitter, like, when it comes to, like, whatever, like, you know, censorship and, like, what is hate speech, what is not, like, who should we ban, like, who's, like, you know, spam, a bot, whatever. Because if leftists are saying, this person said a bad word, or this person's had a different opinion, we're going to report them. Well, you have to deal with that report. You have to process that fucking report.
You have to investigate it.
And if you're going
to have to devote mental power to understanding where they're coming from.
It's
like, well, that's the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So yeah, we're going to throw some grease and shut the fuck up.
And you have to deal with that if you have too many people, like, that you have to, or too many, like, accounts that you have to process for, like, alleged hate speech.
Right, like, why did that person say that? You might have to read back, you know, weeks to what led up to this conversation just reaching this head.
Behind the whole
because that's what Twitter ends up being. Is conversations can be had over time. It's not like it all happened in an instant.
Yeah.
Somebody could say something, and then another person sees it, and then you reply to it. How much time went by in all of that?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
You could have a conversation that spans weeks.
Oh, dude, no doubt about it. Like, Yeah, I've seen some crazy threads on there, but it all comes down to the terms of service, because if they have generalized terms of service, they can ban anybody. They could say like, oh, this isn't even, especially like YouTube, Google, whatever, Facebook.
Yeah.
Not so much Twitter, but I mean Twitter's getting there. When it says like, oh, this isn't even hate speech, but we deem it hate speech, so you're done.
Right. So it looks like you're targeting a particular group, but it's when you respond to the way the people on the platform are behaving. I mean, if people are upset with a particular individual or particular group, like, what do you do about that?
Yeah.
And it's your user base, and that's ad revenue, because you want them to keep watching videos. How do you keep them on your platform?
Exactly.
And who are you going to piss off, and who are you going to cut? Because it's not like they're cutting a single individual. They'll do a little bit on both sides of the aisle, but you end up getting it more on this side because of, I think, the ideology difference of, we don't care what you say, whereas this group does care what you say.
Exactly.
And they want to regulate your language.
Who can we pander, like, which set of emotions can we pander to the most? So, like,
which would benefit us the most.
Yes. And then, I mean, that's where they would then probably take all of their data. How do we look at this? Who are we exactly going to pick off? I mean, we could take out Alex Jones, because Alex Jones is too far out.
Alex Jones and Peter Thiel are so close, I'm sure, to bankrolling like a fucking social media platform called like,
I don't know.
I don't even know. Peter Thiel, he's like a gay Republican who's super rich. He has like a net worth of $2.5 billion. But he could easily bankroll like a social media site, obviously with additional like private investment.
Not even.
But like, that's true. That's true.
A couple $100 million.
Yeah. Depends on how big it gets. But it's like, at the same time, if you push conservatives and people to the right out of Twitter enough, like if Paul Joseph Watson and say like Mark Dice and some other like conservative talk show hosts said like, fuck this, we're going to Gab, like that would affect Twitter. That would affect Twitter's stock, because they have a lot of followers, and even Stefan Molyneux, like Kokesh, they said, you know what, we support free speech, fuck this, we're going to Gab, and we're going to set up shop there. Like Twitter, if it's competitive enough and like Gab is a major player, then Twitter has to like kind of like cater to them a little bit, in a sense, if they're a big enough demographic.
Right. Well, because your platform is surviving based on the users and the ads that you're able to serve. So if you're not attracting people and you don't have the players that they ultimately came here to see, then why are they going to try to view any videos? If they just cut off Mark Dice, like, I don't care to watch many of his videos, but he does get millions of views. So you're always you're gonna lose millions of potential people that you could serve ads to, and that's revenue for your company, because that's how your business is built, by serving ads. I mean, are you going to cut those people that ultimately bring in views?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's self-defeating.
It's like
for them,
they don't want to cut certain people because they can still make money off of them.
And like it comes back to like kind of Jack's, like studying Jack's like body language when he was on the second, not the first like Joe Rogan podcast that he went on, but when he went with his like PR person, then he went up against Tim Pool. I really got the impression that Jack wants a more free speech oriented Twitter or like social media platform. Yeah. But the thing is, like, there's so many layers, so much bureaucracy, so much going on, so many special interests involved, quite frankly.
It's not really
that
up
he
to
can't.
him.
Yeah, it can't be up to him. It's out of his hands, and he's the fucking CEO. He has a net worth of like what, $5.3 billion. Isn't that weird?
Who the
like,
fuck is in
think about this. Yeah, think about this. Like, Basement Podcast is nothing right now, but let's say in 10 years, it's just fucking Elysium. It's God, like God himself is watching Basement Podcast every 2.5 or 3 weeks.
I'll never forget that first episode.
Yeah, that first episode, like fucking Taylor talking about cucumbers, the first test run. Absolutely, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, imagine something so small. Like in Twitter in the early days, it was probably like a joke, honestly. Like he probably didn't, Jack probably didn't think it was going to get as big as it is now. And now it's huge. And now it's to a point where he can't control it even if he fucking wants to.
Yeah.
If he wants to have a fucking rule implemented, like he would have to really like pull some fucking strings.
It has to get cleared by a bunch of people.
Exactly. Cleared by a bunch of people. He can't just do it like he would in the early days of Twitter where it's like, boom, 140 characters, done. We're going to have this, like, very specific, terms of service, everything.
Yeah.
It's that's kind of scary. It's kind of fucking petrifying.
I was thinking like Frankenstein's monster.
Exactly.
You're just like, I have no control over this, and it's just.
No, you have oil sheiks in the Middle East like investing in Twitter, like like hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, what the fuck?
What is that? Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And that definitely makes it interesting. Where it's. I think that's where conspiracy theories, I guess, really get interesting. Is there some sort of hand playing a part in all of this stuff where it's controlling everything? Because that's really hard to believe. Because one, how does somebody live that long to control things for many, many years?
You bet.
To say that somebody back from the 1800s is still having influence today, I mean, we don't think anyone's alive.
Yeah.
Pre 1900.
Yeah. Yeah, the Romanovs died off, unfortunately. So.
That's what I'm saying. How could somebody then formulate a plan over time? Because people seem to think that, like, people have been in rule for a long time. There could be systems in place that then your kids could take over, and then they learn about. But then you have to then make sure that your kids are on board with the whole thing.
That's true.
So
That's
true.
To
continue on,
it comes back to like the whole like third generation heir and heiresses. Like, are they on board? Are they financially responsible? Do they know what the paradigm is?
And based on what we've seen, that doesn't really add up because say somebody, like you're saying, makes a shit ton of money, by the third generation, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So to say that you had a great master plan, by the third generation, your master plan's probably just, it got passed on to someone else in a different family that picked it up because they saw the vision. And that's the only way I could see something like this carrying on.
Really?
It's not going to be some grand conspiracy where one person's pulling all the strings. It's more of a system that's in place that people can then use to their advantage. And I think that's where you can see in our system today, through government, people can pull certain strings. They can see it through using lawyers. They lobby. If I do this, if I get this to happen, it benefits me. I want to get my piece of the pie, and that's all it is. I want to get my piece of the pie.
It doesn't matter at whose expense it is.
The big pie doesn't matter. I'm not controlling the whole thing. How can I use it to manipulate this to my advantage? That's it. And I get in, I get out, and that's what we see a lot of today. It's just a lot of little people dipping in and out, and then you get this massive system that's just completely fucked when you look at it from all these different angles, because you could say, well, this is fucked, this is fucked, this is all of it. Because through years, people were just motivated by their own self-interest. They're not thinking about, how does this sort of system help the general population? I had some sort of person get put in a certain position that got legislation passed that made me money. That's it.
That's why
I don't agree with that at all.
And the thing is too is like it's so obvious to see why somebody like Trump or Romney or Rockefeller, any one of the fucking Rockefellers or Romneys will get involved in politics, because it's like, first of all, you guys have a net worth of hundreds of millions of dollars. And your Mormons, you reproduce a lot, and your offspring of your offspring of your progeny of your offspring are going to be fucking well off with trust funds. And it's like, so why are you so altruistic that you just want to get into politics for like $150,000 a year?
Just trying to help out.
The greater good,
It's like, no, you're getting into. It's like, no, you're getting into politics to enrich yourself. It's like, if you're a descendant of or John David Rockefeller, are you just so strapped for cash, and you're so altruistic and benevolent that you're going to enter politics to fight for these lower caste, these like lower class peasants in society? It's like, no, you're getting into it because you want to fucking enrich yourself through very like hidden ways, like, shell companies and whatnot, and like lobbyist money, and doing paid speeches for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and making a metric fuck ton of money in the process to what you already have in your trust fund.
So government is a tool that they use to benefit themselves. That's why I don't understand, like, the government at a federal scale becomes just so out of touch for your average person.
And
so why do we have it? I mean, I can see it to a certain extent.
Oh, absolutely.
But at the same time, why can't more power be dialed back to the states? Because then all of these states can't be manipulated
and because
like that.
If it affects you, and it's super close geographically in proximity to you, then you feel it at home. You feel it in your heart, your mind, your family. It hurts. Like,
experience it
exactly. And it's like,
getting away from
whatever goes on in Washington, D.C., which is like, like a 20-hour drive, a 3.5, 4-hour flight, whatever, from here you don't know what's going on. It's like you have bureaucrats in suits and ties that say, in this basement right now, we can't smoke a certain plant that is medicinally beneficial.
Right. That's just the way it is, man.
And it's stupid.
Because it's written on a piece of paper somewhere
by bureaucrats,
in some office, and if we pull this piece of paper out, you're in big trouble, buddy.
Meanwhile,
these people put you in cages. You want that to happen?
Exactly. And meanwhile, you can smoke, a plant that was grown in the South and that has over 70 carcinogens and has killed 5 or 6 of my relatives on both sides of my family combined.
Right.
With tobacco-related diseases, bronchitis, emphysema, COPD, lung cancer.
Yeah.
It's like
perfectly acceptable.
Yeah,
not a problem at all.
If a city councilman passes that specific ordinance, we all get pissed. Like there are protests or whatever. Like people are up in their faces. But if it's in Washington D.C., away from where we are right now in Duluth, Minnesota, we don't feel it.
Yeah.
Even though there's a ban, and as unenforced as it may be, on a local level. It's still technically the federal law because it's on the controlled substance list.
It's the
a level
almighty power that be that controls my life, and it never steered me wrong, so I'm just going to agree with it.
Yeah.
Because, hey, that's the law, sir. You better put your phone down.
Yep.
Don't talk on your phone because government said so.
Exactly. Whereas if a city council...
Don't smoke that
if a city councilman in Duluth passes an ordinance saying... And this is assuming it's completely legal on the federal level, they completely repealed the controlled substance level 1, designation for marijuana. And so if there's that power vacuum, and then local politicians say you can't smoke that plant, personally, I'm lighting a bag of dog shit on that city councilman's doorstep. I don't care.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because if it came down to individual cities or states, other states
they wouldn't have the balls to do it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Why would you? Because all of a sudden you're going to lose everyone.
It would be politically disadvantageous because even Republicans are fucking getting on board with pot legalization. It's are you fucking kidding me?
They have to.
Exactly.
It's becoming more of a trend. People are realizing.
There you go.
It's kind of stupid for it to be illegal.
They're waiting.
There really isn't much logical sense.
They're waiting until the polls come in their favor, which now it's at 58, 60%. It's damn close to shifting that paradigm to 70%. And Republicans, they're on the hot seat if they say, you know what, you can't smoke that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, because if they try to take that stand, I think you're going to see a shift where the Democrats become irrelevant to a certain extent.
Yes.
Because you can look at any sort of heavily Democratic area and just see how shit it is. Literal shit. I mean, before we talk about California,
Chicago and Baltimore are beautiful, Mr. Schrupp. How fucking dare you?
That's why we have a mass exodus.
Well, we're moving from Duluth. We're going to the south side of Baltimore.
I'm gonna be
oh, jeez.
The anti-movers.
No one's moving from California to Texas. There's no sort of shift whatsoever going on. No one wants to leave California to go to Texas. No one.
Fuck, even liberals, except even Democrats, even the most hardcore nose ring, green hair, blue hair, SJWs are fuck, it's expensive in California when you don't increase the supply of housing when there's increased demand. And the housing prices increase.
And when you have so much red tape that it's so expensive to even build an apartment building that it costs so much money that you then have to pay for all of that legislation.
Maybe we should move to Texas where they have free market policies and they don't have a lot of zoning and ordinances.
Or income tax.
Issues, state income tax.
Yeah.
Where they actually, when there's increased demand for housing and affordable housing, they actually expand the number or amount of affordable housing. Isn't that weird?
Then the crazy logic becomes, I want to go...
that you should meet the demand that's being...
Yeah, dude, you're crazy. We need to get you involuntarily committed.
You could teach economics 101 in high school, man, and you would be just top grade right there.
But no, here's a crazy thing.
Nobody gets
Here's a crazy thing I read that's going to blow your fucking mind into fucking Neptune. I don't know why I choose Neptune.
That's a long way.
Yeah, that's a fuck.
You better
that's
blow
true.
it.
That's true. The average home in California by 2020, I think it was. The average medium price of a home in California by 2020 will be $603,000.
Oh my god, I thought it was gonna be $500,000.
That's probably not even like a mansion. Yeah, that's crazy. It's probably like a
median.
Median.
Middle.
I believe so. Yes.
Somewhere in the middle.
There are some realty sites that fucking post that.
So let's just
don't forget the solar panels.
If we're gonna break that down mathematically, hours wise, you need $15 an hour is not gonna cut it.
Oh no.
Like if you made $15 an hour at 40 hours a week, that's not gonna make you enough money to be able to afford a monthly payment of at least $500K. Well, a payment of $500K, that's gonna be probably $2,500, $2,500 a month.
Oh God!
Let's say roughly.
Jesus Christ!
It's going to be at least $2,000 a month. What? So to pay $2,000 a month, and you're only
fuck
right. That's
preposterous.
That's me being generous too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To have $500,000 that you have to pay back in a mortgage.
Oh.
That's $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. People quote me. You can put it in the comments.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty close on that. They're going to say no. Close. It's way more than that. It's way more than $2,000 a month. You're going to have to make over $20 an hour, and all of your money is going to be gone.
Yeah.
Because you're going to bring in $600 a week.
That's and the thing
that's
is
after taxes and everything
in California. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, in California, like all the politicians cater to these like environmentalist groups that say no, you can't like develop an area because like there's this like non-native bird species that like we want to save and like we don't want to like go extinct. We don't want to interrupt his natural habitats. Like we don't want to like increase my housing. Like can you just like not build houses and develop enough? And it's like if you don't increase the supply of housing, which I think it has been calculated in California, they need to increase the supply of housing by like 3.5 to 4 million homes built, or like whatever built.
How many people are shitting in the streets?
Oh
right
God,
now?
San Francisco. Podcast number 7: San Francisco and Portland, Oregon. San Francisco, California, and Portland, Oregon.
6 planned out already.
Oh yeah. By the way,
like a bucket.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, come on.
Does it have to be in the street?
Like, dude, come on.
Well, they had one where somebody shat
Yeah.
in a garbage bag, or they collected all of it in a garbage bag, like probably a 45-gallon. Those big black trash bags that you see, and just left it on the corner to just bake in the sun, and it just smelt for for however
human
far
shit
it smells. Like,
human shit
at least a couple blocks
coming from somebody who has been a member of professional like the Monty Poop crew, the Monty Poop troupe.
How many Keurigs?
Dude, like human shit smells so atrocious. Like I can't imagine the vast majority of.
I think you have to say anything about how much you know what it's like to be a human. That's not special.
But when it's on fire, like when human shit is on fire on a fucking doorstep.
Now I will say you specialize in that.
Okay, all right.
Flaming piles of shit.
I'm in the flame banging Hall of Fame. I'm not gonna name drop names, but 763 for life. You know what it is. But like the fact that like when you look at how much California has, or San Francisco, the city of San Francisco, all the bureaucrats, Chamber of Commerce, excuse me, and the city councilmen and councilwomen, okay, not being sexist, how much they allocate to sanitation and cleaning up needles and shit. Just those two things. Millions of dollars every single year. Think of how fucking disgusting that is, and to be acclimated to it. Even if you're like upper middle class, like that's so fucking gross.
That's freedom.
You smell that?
Yeah.
You smell that fucking black tar heroin and feces? You know you want to fucking move to California, Ryan Schrupp.
You want to shoot up? I'm gonna figure out a way that you can shoot up.
Yeah, like heroin's so cool. Yeah, like
and if you almost die, I'm gonna find a way to keep you alive, so
yeah,
you can keep shooting up.
Yeah, man.
Because to me,
well, actually, like it's state-sanctioned needles to shoot you up, man.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like you can come into a clinic and like you don't gotta pay anything. It's free. We'll just get like the needles and tests, and we'll like shoot you up.
We're just gonna like watch, and if you do too much,
Superior Wisconsin is San Francisco 2.0. Let's just say it right now.
Say it right now. We're well
STDs,
on our way, though,
heroin,
seriously.
drug overdoses.
Human trafficking.
We're looking at you, Superior. We're looking at you. Just so you know.
Fam, what?
Everyone from Wisconsin's offended.
Duluth.
Everyone.
Duluth greater than sign. Or
Well,
superior.
everyone knows that Duluth is the best. So, one of these days,
It is
all
the
of you
best.
watching should come up and join
We're gonna be
the basement crew here
awesome.
at my place.
Probably gonna call it quits.
This is a good,
Perfect.
good first run. I think that everybody got some juicy information out of that. Very well thought out, very organized, and I don't think that we had to have Facebook fact check us once.
We did not.
I don't
First
think-
of all,
I think everything was 100% accurate.
if we don't go on DTube, we go on YouTube. We're gonna get hit by the algorithm. It's gonna be a tsunami.
Well, yeah, I mean,
done.
we're gonna.
You know, you could show a
gonna be a
fucking
tsunami.
you could show a fucking Barney video like dancing and singing,
Yeah.
and he would get fucking demonetized.
We're demonetized. We're gonna get copy strike because we mentioned something or we did something, and I think we
mentioned supply and demand,
Well,
and
we
we're done.
I think we sang Friday
We can't-
by Rebecca Black.
well-
So we're probably gonna get hit for that.
Let's just demonetize Taylor.
So it's Taylor's fault. We can edit him out of the video.
He's our scapegoat.
please,
he's done.
please send us all of your dollars. Bernie 2020. Never forget.